Hello and welcome to TemTalk episode 28, your weekly podcast dedicated to the creature collection MMO Temtem. Man, I really struggled through that tonight. We're joined by a very, very special guest, Shintegami. It's going to be a great episode. There's so much exciting stuff going on. Shinte is the least of it, and a lot of cool stuff in the news. As always, I'm joined by Gaijinbu and Kennedy.
The Destiny 2 streamer is the least exciting thing.
Least of which is Shinte, not least of. Least of which.
You said least of. You didn't
know
the
least
which,
of which. Kennedy, how are you doing this week? Welcome. Oh, actually, no, sorry. Shinte, guess first. Shinte, how are you? Welcome to TemTalk. How are you feeling?
Great. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to TemTalk. I appreciate it very much.
So I tried to coach you before the stream. Try not to let the fame go to your head now that you're on TemTalk. The fandom, the celebrity status, a lot of people can't handle it. You know, after the show, it ruins a lot of lives.
That's why Matt now does weird shows on his Twitch streams.
Yeah, so just
special request streams.
So just be prepared for all the fans that are going to be coming your way now. But no, for real, gotcha. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm very excited to have you here.
I 1500 TMR before I was on the spot.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it was 1500, no more anymore, but we'll get back there eventually.
You should have just left it at what it was.
Kennedy, how are you doing on this fine Monday evening?
Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this?
Just wait. Just wait.
I'm home.
I was like, what is this reveal? Excited. It's an unmade bed. Yeah, you're back home. Welcome home.
Oh yeah, I'm doing really good. I've been traveling for the last couple weeks, and I finally flew back home. I've got my desktop. I got a screen. I got a webcam. I have a chair.
You're not sitting on the ground.
There's no laptop screaming in the background.
Yeah, there's no whining noise that I thought was my own fan, and I was turning my own fan off last week. You sound great. You have a real microphone again. Gaijinbu,
yes, I'm happy.
What about you, sir?
Doing well. Doing fantastic. We've got ourselves a beautiful Luma week this week, so I can't complain. Finished work.
It's great.
Feeling kind of fresh. Feeling all right. Excellent. And no complaints.
Oh, that's good. Well, let's jump right into it. You already talked about it. Let's waste no time. Let's jump right into the news, gentlemen, shall we?
Do you want me to pull it up on my screen, or do you have the other setup displayed?
What, on the 28th episode? You don't think I'm ready to pull up the Saipark?
No.
What do you think? You think this is an amateur hour?
I know you were.
This is a professional show.
We'll break the overlays. And we can expect you to be ready.
We got nice overlays. We got 4 overlays. We got people's names. We did a sound check. This is top notch. This is high production value.
I have the other screen up, Vonlin, and I see that you just pulled it up, and all the microphones and not all the microphones, all the web cameras and everything are set up.
They look
well
beautiful.
Done. Done.
Thank you. I'm actually genuinely proud. I took a lot of time setting up here. I'll switch to the main for you. I got names for us even. It'll be a delay, but you'll see the names. But listen, without further ado, let's jump into this news. The Saipark is amazing. It deserves to be talked about. Let's not get distracted. We have ×4 Luma odds. ×4. The first time ever. Shinte, you're a good luck charm. You got to come on TemTalk more often to get those ×4 Luma odds.
Gotcha.
Zephyra has a 75% spawn rate with a ×4 Luma odd. Blues is on with 50% spawn weight ×3 Luma odds. 3,200 Pansuns, 9 Saipark cards. Less exciting, but I'll just run through it quick before we open this up. The free Tem releases range from 50 to 425. At the very top, you get 2 Telemore hacks, 4 stamina. The tweet itself said, here's the configuration for this week's Saipark. This week in the Saipark, they're toxic. I'm slipping under. This configuration will run from August 24th to the 30th. Happy taming. And even more exciting news, it was on time this week.
It was. So I guess I have to eat my words where last week I said we'd probably see it reset early again. But I want to say I wasn't the only one with that thought because, you have it up on screen?
Yeah.
Kernel put out the funniest meme.
Oh, I got it pulled up already. Yep, their tweet. Go ahead, describe it.
Yeah, so for anybody listening, it's a Simpsons episode, and it's, weeks since accidents sign, and they're in the power plant. But instead of weeks since accidents, it says weeks without early reset. And they're getting ready to change it from 0 to 1. And they tweeted this yesterday, I think. a few like halfway through the day of
Yeah.
like getting ready for the reset and hoping that the reset didn't come early. And I just thought it was so funny and self-aware that they're in the same boat as us of just like, come on guys, come on, get it right.
Oh, I loved it. I saw the tweet and it confused me because I was like, wait, did it reset early and they already posted this? Because they posted it early. So, but about the Saipark, how do you guys feel about it? Shinte, guess first. Are you going to be in Saipark Luma hunting with this week?
I mean, I'm already hunting right now as we speak, trying to see if I can hit that Zephyroth tonight.
No time wasted. I told you guys
absolutely not.
right before we started. I was like, I'm gonna go to my first encounter. It's gonna be a Luma Zephyroth right away. I can't wait. It wasn't, unfortunately, but I'll be spending lots of time chasing it.
You can run from it again?
No, I was gonna say, guys, and this is both of our weeks of redemption. We can get our Luma Zephyros.
You run redemption, baby.
Oh,
Going for blues first, though.
Are you really? I gotta go for that Zephyr to make things right.
Oh, blues is one of the spiciest Lumas, I think. It's so good.
I want
the
both
black
of them.
with the red and the white.
No, you're right. They're both very sexy Lumas. I'm gonna go at both of them hard. This is gonna be a hard week of Temtem for me, which is good. I haven't done that in a while. So, Kennedy, what about you? Are you getting debated into Saipark, or have you still learned your lesson and you're staying away?
I am so gonna be there. I'm going for the Zephyroth for the 4 times Luma odds this week, and I think it has a chance. Yeah, it does have a chance of an egg move too, which is ridiculously good because the way the formula works is it has a chance to have a egg move, and then for the egg move, if it has an egg move, it's that chance. That chance is split across all the egg moves it has. Zephyroth only has Feather Gatling. So there is a high chance you could get a ladder viable Luma.
And before a week from now, Kennedy's in here moaning about how terrible Saipark is and grinding Lumas.
Well, so I know that Saipark isn't a guaranteed Luma even at 4 times odds. So I understand that, and if you look right now, I'm doing my free Tem first. Once I get all my free Tem done this week, I'm going to go Luma hunt, and then if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I still free Tem, and I just have fun.
Me and guys and Ken, we've talked Saipark and Luma odds into the ground. You're the guest. By the way, I should say really quick for those that don't know, you stream Temtem very regularly. You're doing the Luma Dojo quest. You're a friend of the show. You've written in multiple times. We've had multiple questions from you. Been wanting to have you on for a long time. I should have plugged the credentials up front.
Nah, that's all good.
But what's your advice? What's your advice for Kenny? Because me and Gaijin have beat this into the ground. We have no response. Do you have any advice or for Kennedy or tips to stay happy and sane and hunt his Luma?
Honestly, I mean, like for me personally, I just kind of keep going. Like I just have the mindset of just going, like just continuously encountering something until I hit something. And even if I don't hit anything, I'm just kind of like, okay, like I guess that's that. Just waiting on for the next better week to see how the luck runs out. It's just like it's just pushing the luck and just trying to run your odds.
Gaijin, are you gonna go? I assume you'll go for the Zephyr if you get the blues. Is that the plan to try to go for both this week?
I need 2. Need 2 blueses.
2 blueses?
Gotta fill that. Yeah, gotta fill that. Gotta fill that Luma Tempedia.
So you're not gonna switch the Zephyr until you've gotten 2 blueses? Is that the plan?
I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Well, let's real quick on the server resetting topic. I got 2 more bits of news. One, they made this tweet earlier in the week when they did server maintenance. They said servers up again after taking it down. This maintenance should have fixed the Saipark free time early reset problems. They're smart enough to put asterisks around it. Spoiler alert, we're in the future. It did fix it, but I just thought it was worth pointing out. And also, I got to switch over here. We were talking to in last week's episode, we kept talking about Q Angel because he comments on our YouTube threads every week, YouTube videos every week. And Kenny was like, maybe it's his teams that fix this or something. So Q Angel did have an official response as usual. This is our QA segment update. I don't know. We need a sound for that. He can be the whip lumps. That's the sound of Q Angel coming in fast. So Q Angel said, so yes, our servers were messing with the time configuration for the Saipark, but I can't do much about it because that part of the development is out of my reach. Maybe one day I can explain what the QA team does so everyone understands what we are capable and what not. So he clarified he's got nothing to do with this.
Confirmed.
He's got nothing to do with this, but he did say it was messing with the servers. It wasn't just some line of code like we suspected. But they seem knock on wood, have figured it out, hopefully. And yeah, I replied to Q Angel. I'm like, so you want to come on the show? And he said maybe. I got to talk to him in Discord, so we'll see. We might be able to get Q Angel on. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Oh my God, Vonlin, I just noticed the names underneath. Why? Don't we have overlays for the names?
No, I don't have them yet, so I had to make do. I don't have the actual assets for it sent to me yet.
I think I know a guy you can ask about those because
Listen.
they exist.
Yeah, I'm trying so hard.
I know a guy.
You still gotta find something to nitpick. I'm out here.
Yes, until it's perfect. This is your baby. It's like you don't even care about it.
I got. Oh, go ahead.
We need to get together after this show because I actually do have all the assets, in a folder that Liam sent to me, and we'll sort what you need. You know what? I'll just send you the link. There we go. Ha.
So the last other tweet that was worth checking in on is from Damian Sanchez, who's doing the beautiful music that we love all so much. Posted a little teaser saying, having so much fun recording flutes at the booth today. New playful tunes coming to Temtems soon. Play Temtem, that's the handle. But so he's recording some flute music for us in the future. I can't wait to hear it. Are you guys excited for some more Damian creations?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. This guy is a absolute boon to Crema, and I'm so happy they hired him as a full-time creator for the game. I cannot wait to see what he comes up with next. It's so the music for Temtem. It's interesting because it's got that fantasy feel of it's kind of like this world that is going through a revolution, but is still on that verge of coming out of I guess the older ages of before technology and everything, because Tim cards and all of that are kind of new. And so the music that he comes up with with all of the violins and everything gives you that hype of yes, I'm in the battle, but it never breaks that theme of just this world feels fantasy-esque of I can walk around outside.
Fitting. The music's very fitting.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see what he comes up with next. I really like how he arranges some of his stuff. The one thing I will comment on, though, it's really subtle, and I've noticed this the most in Plus OP's streams. Shout out to Plus OP, but something really weird happens with his audio, where his audio misses a frame or something, and then it just kind of clips to catch up whenever I'm watching him. And the violin tracks, the way that they shift through their keys and stuff, when I listen on streams, it's that sounds so off. But then when I listen in game, I'm just God, this is just so moving. So I feel the compositions just need to be listened to entirely and aren't really things you can get really bits and pieces of. So I think it overall works really well for the game, and I can't wait to see what he produces.
Well, the one thing, not the most interesting, but just an interesting thing I thought about this is it's cool to see that, assuming on this tweet, that he's actually recording it himself, playing the instruments himself. I know he's composing the music, and he's obviously probably got a lot of musical talents, but it was cool to see that whatever this flute music we're going to hear was actually played by himself, and I wonder if he played the violin music, for instance, that we're referring to. I mean, I don't know how many instruments he all plays, but it's pretty cool, I think. So
what I want to know is what island is going to have the hurdy-gurdy as the instrument, the official instrument of the island. I want some hurdy-gurdy from Damien.
I mean, I'm going to assume that the flute's probably going to be for Sapanku. Figuring out
they're recording it. If they're recording it now, Shinte, that's not going to be the last island.
I mean, who knows?
What's the hurdy-gurdy?
I mean, he said coming soon.
True.
Next spring is not soon.
Or we could be seeing it in Kisama patch, probably, potentially.
Yeah.
The mountains.
No, I think
where Yowler is.
I think you're right though, Shinte. It makes sense though. The flute music makes sense for the next island. I could see it.
Mm.
Now, I don't know what this hurdy-gurdy is. I just Google searched it, and it is a weird looking thing. I do remember when I
The
I do-
hurdy-gurdy is from Sea of Thieves. It's a very old school instrument that is like hardly ever in use anymore. They still make them. They're very specialized instruments, but hardly anyone has them because they're ridiculous.
Yeah, it
here,
looks like
I'll pull it up quick. So this is on
it looks
stream.
like
I
a
got
violin with like a monkey crank box to it. But anyways, when I was doing the weekly mix and getting all the Discord stuff, I remember I did come across a post by Yaw that I didn't think was like really newsworthy. He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, "I wish I could see somebody play the weird instruments Damien's using for Sapunku." And it was something like that. And the overall, I guess the overall like thing of the comment was that they brought in really weird instruments.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that are going to be
That's
played.
exciting to
So
look forward
I don't know
to.
what it's going to sound like, but maybe we might get hurdy-gurdies.
My guess probably would be that if it's going to be something that's weird, most likely it could be very like old Japanese instruments or Asian instruments for that matter, like super old string instruments. So I'm thinking like we're going to probably hear more strings if anything, Kennedy, for Sapunku.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm down for it.
Yep.
Our next bit of news, Yaw took to Reddit with a fury this week. He was on fire
In the
replying to
Destiny 2
people.
subreddit? Yeah, everybody involved in Temtems playing Destiny 2 now.
No, on the actual Temtem Reddit. It wasn't even the Destiny sub. He was on fire on the Temtem subreddit. I know, shocking. But he really was. He had 3 posts and 3 comments that he made. We'll just go through them quickly. It's not like super newsworthy, but I guess it is newsworthy. Y'all posted in the Temtem Reddit. That is newsworthy. It doesn't happen very much. So the top one, the only reason I hesitate is they were all kind of a negative posts that he was responding to. So I don't want to go super into it or start the debates or feature him, but I do want to feature his responses. The first post was, this is the most Reddit thread ever. I saw this myself and I refused to click on it and I didn't read anything about it. And then I saw Ya commented, so I went and looked at it a little bit more. But the title just said, the title of the thread was, "Does Crema want us to play Temtem?" Question mark. I was like, okay, you internet troll. Does the game studio that makes their game want you to play their game? Anyways, Ya replied, because people were talking about Saipark basically, and complaining about Saiparks being boring sometimes is the gist of it. And Ya's response to the lukewarm Saiparks. I mean, I'm guilty of this. Some Saiparks aren't that exciting, and I don't play as much. And Ya was right there in line with that. Ya said, "If your reason to play Temtem is having a good Saipark, week or not, then yes, it's totally okay if you don't play Temtem right now. The game doesn't have all its repeatable content yet. It won't for a long time yet. Saipark is not there to force you to play every week. It's just a bonus if you happen to find something in there interesting for you in that right moment," which I think is a beautiful, beautiful summary and standpoint on Saipark. I mean, what do you guys? What's your take on this whole topic in his reply? Without us going too deep into it, go ahead though, please.
I mean, absolutely, it makes sense. I mean, if people are expecting 5% Temtem every week, I mean,
Right.
if they just repeat the rarest Temtem over and over every week to make it exciting, I mean,
that won't be
people
exciting.
are going to get bored of that too.
That won't be
People are
exciting
going
yet.
to get bored of the rare ones. People are
Exactly.
going to they're just going to get bored. Like, there's going to be good weeks, there's going to be bad weeks. Some people like different Temtem, other people like others. Some weeks are good for some people and some weeks are bad for others. Like, you can't please everybody. And if you're going into this assuming every week is going to be just for you, you got another thing coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Ya there. You know, for me, Saipark, I have to look at Saipark as a bonus. When I devote my weeks to Saipark, it gets really, really sad and hard. So last week, I finished free timing and I climbed the ladder and I was like, oh, great, I'm going to go to Saipark. And I went to Saipark and then I was like, wait a second. And I looked at it and I was like, I don't want to do Saipark. I think I'll just, like I did all the stuff I want to do in Temtem this week. I'm going to chill out this weekend and work on some personal projects. And I just took a break and I had a really, really pleasant weekend. And then same thing this week. Like, Saipark's a huge bonus for me. So I'm going to do all my free Tim. I'm going to play some ranked. And then at the end of the week, like while I'm waiting for, all the tournaments to start, I'm going to go in Saipark and Luma Hunt.
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, in conjunction with both Gaijin and with Kennedy, I mean, it's the right thing to say, honestly. Because, like, if we're to get constant 5% Lumas, or just like Luma weeks consistently, the game's gonna run out really quickly. Like it's gonna come to a stalemate where it's just not gonna have any value or fun in using Saipark as it is currently. And
Yeah.
plus, like with SV weeks too, it's like it kind of gives a breather for a lot of people, like myself, because I'm pretty much in the same boat right now with like Gaijin, where I want to play different games now, and like I want to do other things other than just like Temtem. If it gets really overbearing, like if it's like double Luma weeks or whatever could be the case, I'd want to take a break from Saipark for sure.
Can we all swear an oath together here? I mean, we're all as of Kennedy, as of a
no,
week ago.
Blood Pact?
No, we all stream Temtem. It's probably our main game. Can we all admit and agree it's okay if we play other games sometimes too? Can we just get that on the open? I know, shocking.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
People
I don't play anything other than Temtem.
I,
Please ignore the D&D shirt that I'm wearing right now.
as co-host of the show, I'd like to take a vote between Shinte and Prez B. Kennedy that we vote to strike Vonlin from the show. Everybody raise their hands.
Vote.
How dare you? How dare you?
Man,
Nerve.
you were just
The
talking about Sea of
audacity.
Thieves, you traitor.
I don't play Sea of Thieves.
Never,
I dream it. I
never.
live it.
No, I'm serious though.
my
I mean,
life.
people get out of whack if they see a streamer playing a game that isn't Temtem, and it's just like, no, that's okay. It's okay to take a break.
So I think that comes with, and this is a whole different topic that's unrelated to Temtem, but that kind of comes with brand identity, where it's like there's this Fortnite streamer I absolutely love to just put on while I'm eating food and stuff, and he's been playing Fall Guys this week, and it's like I've had no interest in it. He's been playing a lot of Fall Guys, and I was like, I think I'm done with your channel. Like, I just like sitting back and watching you do some really funny shenanigans in Fortnite.
Yeah.
And then like the same thing, like I'm not on following Gaijin or Shinte, but I like just like coming and hanging out, and it's like, oh, like here's a really cool topic about Temtem I can contribute and talk to. I don't really have an interest in Destiny 2.
That's fair.
And I don't think it's a sin that we're not playing Temtem and we're Temtem content creators. But I think there's a brand identity that a lot of your audience does like the thing that, they came to you for. And if you're not doing that thing, I don't think your audience should be obligated,
that's
just
true.
like,
no, absolutely.
regardless.
No, that,
Like I built my channel purely on Temtem. I mean, I started back when Temtem was just coming out, and I had like 1 to 3 followers for the first, 1 to 3 viewers for like the first few months. And then eventually I started to work up, and all I streamed 1,600 hours of playtime, and hold on, I think it's like 800 hours of stream time. At least 700 hours of stream time was just Temtem. People come to my channel for that. Like, that's what they've come to expect, and it's kind of normal and expected that all of your viewers may not be interested in the games you're playing, and that's totally fine. I understand that people aren't going to be, but
I should almost rephrase it. We can all take it back as fans of Temtem. We're still fans of Temtem, and it's okay to play another game, not as streamers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And for the player base themselves, they can play other games besides Temtem and come back to it. Don't get burnt out.
Yeah. I mean, there's other games. Like I said, I put 1,600 hours into Temtem. About 100 of that, 1,500 of that was before Kisiwa. So I've greatly reduced my playtime in Temtem, outside of streaming, and even in streaming. I've personally just needed a break. I mean, 1,600 hours is a lot to put into a 1/3 or 1/2 finished game. Like, there's really not a lot of content outside of doing competitive or Luma hunting. And if neither of those things are really your bag, then take a break, play every now and then. Don't kill the game for yourself. Don't make it something you hate to pick up and play and feel like you have to. Just do what you want.
And to bring this back and move on to the next one, I think Ya agrees with you. Ya's speaking not directly to you, but can directly reply to that, saying that it's okay to not play for a week and come back the next week. From the game director himself, he says all the content isn't there yet. So anyways, we've covered that one. This next one's similar. So It's in reply to last week's Saipark reset, not this week. That's for sure. It's from last week's Saipark. Someone says again, pretty mediocre free tem rewards. Unhappy face. Would love to see some customization, like like dyes and clothing. And Ya said. Ya said, we used to include customization items in higher free temp tiers, but there was a lot of complaints on the amount of releases needed to get customization item. Customization items in Temtem are expensive, so it's either we included them with high amount of releases associated or don't include them at all, like we are doing now with the 400 max cap, or 425 in this week's case.
So I have like 2 comments on this one, and then like we can move on. One.
Okay, so you get 2 comments, and then nobody else gets to say anything.
So Vonlin
See you later, Shinte. We're all done here.
Vonlin said earlier he didn't want to go in depth on these, and we spent like forever.
Speak your mind. Go around the table.
So. Okay, so for this person, I just feel so bad because like we're not supposed to call people in the community jerky faces, but this guy's a jerky face. Like, could you imagine Krima putting in a really cool, like, free Tim only cosmetic item for the free Tim reward last week, and then somebody's like, mediocre free Tim reward. I would love to see some more customization, like the customizable free Tim only reward that we had last week with the glint water dye. Okay, I'll leave that alone.
Was that?
But anyway,
was it the exact same week of this post? Was that August 17th to the 23rd?
Yeah, 17th. Last week was the glint water.
So they complained about the lack of customization the week there was a customization. I didn't even bother looking. I just assumed it was a Telemark.
Am I crazy?
Week. Based on
no,
the
I
comment.
think you're right. I'm pretty sure it is good water dye.
Based on the comment,
guy.
I just assumed it was a Telemore hack. What the heck? This comment makes no sense now.
Oh, wait, no, okay. No, I am lying. I am lying. It is Super Sense last week. The week before that was the glint water dye. But yeah, sense. Still coming off of a custom item, I would still say that half of my comment stands. Like, we just had a customizable item in free Tim.
Q Angel, delete the comment. We found the error ourselves and clarified it. Delete the comment. Go back. Okay, go.
So, anyways, and then moving on from there, I guess the second part of my question was, how do you think as developers it feels like when you're just like, okay, we have to make a game for everybody in the community and not select aspects of it, and rotating through, and it's just like, okay, let's cover this part of the game this week, and then somebody's like, mediocre Saipark rewards. I wish you guys would do better stuff that I'm interested in.
Yeah,
like the thing that you're. Yeah, exactly. The thing that you're interested in that we did last week for you,
guys.
Like, I just can't imagine that.
Let's take the Twitter next Saipark receipt. Let's all complain that there's no Lumos. Be like, mediocre Lumo week. Would love to see more Lumas.
Could you imagine getting a 5% Luma at 12 times odds, 1 in 13,000? It's not even worth it. That's worse than a normal Luma outside of Saipark. Disgusting.
Not
Ridiculous.
even worth it. Not even worth it. Confirmed.
Yeah, I don't know. That just kind of stuck out to me because
I still think, first of all, I really think they should bring back the higher tier back. Sure, not everybody wants to do all the hard work to catch 600 Temtem and release them to get a cosmetic. And those people don't have to get it. You're not obligated to do it. Just because the option's there doesn't mean you have to do it. Like, it really annoyed me when people were complaining that the number was too high. It's too high to release 600 Temtem. So don't do it. You don't have to do it.
I think just to
you can buy, like,
just to play devil's advocate though, just on some people's, because I know there are a few people who would like to spend the time on grinding it, but unfortunately because of them having like actual responsibility and priorities, they aren't able to actually do it per se, even though they do want to spend the time. But at the same token,
with 2 jobs.
Yeah. I mean,
I understand that.
Yeah. Although I will say though, just again to kind of flop to the other side though, it's like there's ways to ask a developer, and just to kind of like add on to what Kennedy said earlier, you can. I mean, there's a difference between complaining and actually being critical, right? Instead of just simply saying like, oh, like there's I'm not getting this, or I'm not receiving this because you guys are not including as many options for me to play with. I feel like that's already the wrong approach, especially when it comes to talking with people who actually develop the game. You want to be constructive. You want to like provide
Mhm.
something that they'll actually listen to, right? So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like basically complaint. It's like you're giving a complaint, but you're not providing a suggestion of your own, right? Like you're
Right.
pretty much just running your mouth at that point.
That's
I would say.
that's what Reddit's for, though. People don't
Well-
don't often provide constructive criticism, and not to throw shade at people at Reddit. Yes, there are some posts there that are constructive. They do provide valuable insight, but 99% do not. But also, in regards to what you were saying, yes, there are people that would like to complete that amount,
Mhm.
and they can't because either kids,
Right.
multiple jobs, or
Mhm.
just other responsibilities. But
Right.
you cannot cater a game to a specific group of individual. Yes, there may be
Yeah.
of rewards that aren't obtainable for certain people at that specific time, but that's sure, it sucks for them, but everybody else has to suffer because they can't.
So-
Like,
I
you
feel like-
have to do it for everybody.
I feel like a good workaround, like as a suggestion on my part that I could think of, if they really want to have customizable options, instead of doing it by week, why not do it within the month so that you can do a certain amount of time within the month to actually fit time throughout the month to get a
Yeah.
customizable.
Then they would have to code
Yeah.
multiple
Well-
like Saipark counters that keep track
I
of how
like that
many you
idea,
come through.
but it wouldn't fix the problem because
Right.
what Krima would do is they would times it by 4 to make that balanced. So people would be like, "Oh my god, I have to do 1,800 releases in the whole
Well,
month." and
no,
they
they were
would still
talking
complain.
about specifically just Shinte was saying specifically for the one cosmetic item, get
Right.
600 releases over the course of this many weeks or whatever. But then they'd have to develop a way for that to be tracked separately and not together, and then that takes
Right.
away
I mean,
development
it is
time.
easier said than done, right?
Yeah.
As just like a
Right.
workaround or like
I mean,
a middle ground.
maybe
Yeah.
it's a quest from the shop people or something. Maybe they do monthly quests from the shop people for
Yeah.
cosmetics instead,
Mhm.
and they take a month to do or something. I think
Mm-hmm.
that'd be kind of cool. I still stand by the fact that I think they should do competitions for the community to design cosmetics. Release the
Oh, that'd be
templates,
cool.
let people design cosmetics for you, and then if somebody gets approved for a cosmetic, give them a free copy of that cosmetic. There you go, and then you can release it to the community in different ways, events, etc., things like that.
Yeah, I think we've only scratched the surface with cosmetics in the game, and I don't think it's even worth discussing right now, because I remember seeing the announcement video for Temtem with the tamer like running through Amnesia through all the different outfits, and like there's angel wings
Yeah.
and like polka suits and like whole
Yeah.
like there's so
There's
many
some really
different
crazy looking
things.
customized
That's
ones.
Worth
most-
discussing,
yeah.
I mean, that's
So-
most likely going to be in season
just
pass,
not
right?
in depth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think we're gonna get a huge
Right.
a lot more to
Yeah.
the game than
But I
cosmetics.
still think it's nice to discuss the
Yeah,
cosmetic
for sure.
thing right now and
Mhm.
discuss
Yeah.
possible ideas and things that they could possibly implement.
The on the topic of the higher tiers, I agree with you guys, and they should we should live in a world where they can put a higher tier reward, and only people that want to do it can go after it, and it wouldn't upset people. The thing I do see, then that's what I'd like them to do, but I do see from the other side of like from a min-max gaming standpoint, it's nice to have that check mark of I checked the box of completing my free tem. And when no matter how high they set that, some people who might not care about that reward might still want to go check that box. And then it kind of leads to that burnout and that grind more. It's just like, yeah, I don't care about this shirt, but it's a reward. I can get it. I can get it this week only through this means anyways. Like, people are just going to be completionists, right? And whether it's good or bad to encourage it, I don't know. But I can see why they're like, okay, we don't want to encourage that kind of play. That we don't want to create that FOMO for our players that don't go after those high rewards. But in a perfect world, yeah, just scale up the rewards. Let them go as high as they want, and the people that are going to go crazy, let them get stuff.
I
for
mean,
it.
where does it end? Do we not hold like seasonal events because people that maybe can't be there for the week to play don't get those items? I mean, let's not do a Christmas event. Let's not do Halloween
Yeah.
events. Those if those people can't be there because they're out spending time with their families or friends, I mean, God forbid. Could you imagine? Like, damn.
Hold up.
Damn.
I actually do take some I actually do have a stake in this conversation.
No, we're done. We don't want to spend too much time on cosmetics. No, go ahead. I'm messing with you.
So on Von Lin's point, my brain does have the dum-dum, And 2 weeks ago was like HP telomere hacks. All of the the OT Luma that I have has perfect health, and I don't really need them. But my brain was just like, not like free Tim isn't finished till you get everything. And
Right.
It's just like I'm not even going to use those literally anytime soon.
That's not a point. A lot of people are wired that way. A lot of players are.
Yeah. And so, but on your point, Gaijin, where holding off on content, I think this is something that is very, very important for them on deciding how to implement content and the tiers of content and when they do it and why they do it, because it does have an effect. And they do have to weigh, when they do this, of like, when they release stuff, when are the most players going to be available to play it? When's it going to have the least impact, on the game? Like, you don't restart the servers in the middle of prime time. You don't install a patch like as everybody's like online watching their favorite streamers. And then even more so, you don't release a patch like when there's a huge tournament coming out that's going to completely shake up the meta. Like, I think there was one thing at the very start of Temporium was doing big weekly tournaments and big monthly tournaments, and they were actively done with one half of the PvP patch that had balance changes in it, that had the rank mode ladder in it, that had spectator mode in it. But because of the changes of the game, I felt like they delayed the patch a week to let all the tournaments that were scheduled happen, so that the strategies and everything that people spent all of these time working towards wasn't off-put for the tournaments, because y'all was in the chat that weekend talking about everything that's coming in the upcoming patches. And it's just like, well, if all of this is set, why is it coming out next week? And never actively said, but I feel like that very I feel like that's very important, because like imagine Roadhouse Rumble.
Yeah. That's different. That's different.
Well, I don't think that's different. Like, if you're saying
holiday events are not. I mean, holiday events, you do them during the holiday. That's the whole point. And
well, no, I'm not saying holiday events. I thought you were saying, should they not implement content at all because it's going to affect the lowest common denominator of player?
Well, that's what I was getting at as far as, cosmetics and things like that. I wasn't talking about game-breaking mechanics not game-breaking mechanics, but mechanics that completely alter gameplay. I'm talking about cosmetics, not something that would actually hinder someone's ability to play the way they intended.
With the caveat of cosmetics, I can agree. But with like content and everything, I say that conversation should be separated.
Shinte, I feel like grab the popcorn, Shinte. Welcome to TemTalk. We do lots of arguing here. Listen, no, you guys are both making good points. I want to get to our other stuff here. So, I'll let you revisit in a second. But I want,
I feel like we're on the same thing.
No, you guys are.
We just needed to elaborate to kind of like feel where each person was at.
Right.
Because like I thought he's talking about more stuff, but yeah. So
by the way,
with that, I do agree.
I want to give Ya. This message is straight to you, Ya, because Ya, I want to give you a hug, because we talked about he doesn't post on Reddit much, and Reddit's you said mostly negative posts. But there are positive posts. There's people sharing stuff. There's people hyping it up. We post the TemTalk episode every week there. Ya didn't post on Reddit for a long time, then posted 3 times this week, and posted all of them on kind of negative comments and topics. I feel like Ya might have been feeling a little down. He's replying to people in the community. So Ya, we all love you. I'm giving you a virtual hug. Go post a nice positive comment on a positive thread. When I post this episode, post a comment there and say, good work, I appreciate it, and just smile. It's not all bad out there in Reddit.
I love your beard, Ya. Your beard is fantastic. And you are fantastic.
Or you can say, why isn't Gaijin, Kennedy's, Shinte's, and Vonlin's name bigger on the video?
No, it's got to be a positive comment. Yeah, positivity only. I'm trying to spread positivity in the world. With that said, I'm referring to his last comment. This was just a small one. It was on the discussion of PvP is unfat and unfun for casual players, which we touched on last week. But
there's so much about that post we can keep discussing.
Yeah,
God,
I don't want to get dug back into it because that'll be the whole night. But I do want to say what he said, and so someone said, I understand that it is to prevent bots from making money, but there must be another way. They're referring to Pansun rewards not being given out for losses. So they're saying, I understand that you don't get Pansuns for losing a match because bots would make money, but there must be another way. And Ya just replied, "What's the other way?" Question mark. Kind of a very short post. So like I said, everybody, I know that we're on COVID quarantine, but everyone's sending Ya some virtual hugs. He's like, I feel like he's getting beat up by the community, and he's coming back. Not that he's saying anything bitter in these posts, but
this is how it is for like every game, though. You know, the community. There's always going to be people that find stuff to complain about. Like we all look at development or what is in game and like, wow, why is this way? It seems so simple that it should be like this. Nothing in development is simple. Nothing in coding is simple. Nothing in making millions of people or hundreds of thousands or even 100 or even 10 people happy is simple. It's not.
Yeah.
And a lot of people forget that, and they forget that behind a game those developers are people sometimes, which is unfortunate.
And words, just my tip to the developers: engage with some of the positive people that are out there saying good things and celebrating the game. Don't just engage with the negative Nancy's. Although I get the negative Nancy's have the feedback that you want to address, and there's not they don't get a lot of, for a developer to be like, hey, you like our game, okay, good, I'm glad you like it. That doesn't really feed into their system or productivity. But take the time to do it. You'll feel better if nothing else.
Constructive negative Nancy's.
Yeah, I want to caveat that opinion that PvP is on Fun for Casuals. That was a bad Reddit post. It's not. There was barely anything worth there.
Yeah.
So are we going to move on to our weekly mix?
Yes, let's go into the weekly mix. This is the Discord roundup. Kenny, I'll start this off and I'll let you kind of finish it, just because this is your scene that you pulled it up. But a few things off the top are Q Angel said, talking about the quest log and fix. Finally, in all caps, we found the quest log not updating bug. It only took me 8 months or so. So I don't have an applause track, but yay, the quest log being fixed soon.
Before, Gaijin, we'll let you chip in, but before we get too far, because Q&A Angel does watch these, I want to say he didn't say talking about the quest log, or he says talking about the quest log and fix. We found the quest log not updating bug. Didn't say they fixed it yet. They identified what's causing it. So don't expect a huge
Reddit poster. Okay, why don't you post on Reddit about it?
But hit it, Gaijin.
Two things, Vonlin. We need a mix sound clip. I can send you one. Please don't record one from in-game. We don't need the sound of 2 mixes. We don't need the sound of 2 Totteries. We don't need the sound of 2 whip lumps. We need a single audio,
two
which they have on the wiki, I believe. But we need a mix sound clip for the weekly mix, because I think some people might not realize it's MYX.
I agree
MIX.
completely. We do need one. I can record a single mix if you'd like, or just send me the
I
sound
can
file.
send you the audio file. They have it on their website. Stop recording in game.
You can't stop me. You can't stop this.
The second thing is it's Q Angel, not Q and Angel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's Q&A.
Yeah.
But it's
Q Angel. Yeah.
Because quality assurance Angel. Anyway, yeah.
So
go ahead.
Do you want me to jump on to the next one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this was another discussion that was happening in Discord. There was, funny enough, another user that wasn't too happy with their experience in Temtem. And they're having a big discussion back and forth with Yaw about it, that Yaw ultimately had a final response on. And I'll just read the posts from the player. Well, maybe, yeah. I just like the story, actually. And if I want money, I have to go PvP or Luma hunting. But I don't like that. So I'll wait until next chapter of the story. And y'all replied with, you'll have additional ways for generating money in the future. But they're going to be obviously related to the core aspects of the game, hunting, battling. I thought this was important to pick out just because... I don't know if it's ever been identified before that that's the core aspects of the game we're going to have, content built around. But for me, that's just kind of enlightening, because I've been really scratching my head with this new money-making way in Kiswa is going to be, because they're going to be...
They said that they're going to rebalance it or add it on this island, didn't they? But
and it's nice to know that it's going to be focused well, not nice to know, but I guess it's like the first kind of information we're going to have about it, that it's going to be focused around hunting and battling. So I thought that was something somewhat.
I mean, it's funny because what I take away from this is someone saying, I don't like playing the core part of the game to make money. I only like the story. And Ya's saying, well, there'll be more ways to make money, but it's still going to be based around the core parts of the game. So if you don't like the core parts of the game, you might not like making money these other ways.
Yeah, do you guys want to say anything on that before I read the next ones?
Guy's been shaking his head. I looked like something was coming.
I mean, what do people expect? Like, you guys want to have like a dance party or something to make money? And sure, that might be fun, but how many dance parties are you going to attend in a virtual game? I mean, no matter what they do to create some type of money, it's going to be repetitive. It's going to be grinding. Going to be grindy. I mean, they're not just going to be like, here you go, here's 100,000 Pansuns for the week, that's your stipend, enjoy.
3 dance parties.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are missing the fact that this is like one of those games where you need to invest time, and that's just the biggest issue between like the devs and the game and the community itself, is that people don't understand that if you want to get results and rewards, then you have to put the time into it, essentially.
Yeah, so that's the same thing with everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Luma hunting, PvP, breeding, farming Pansuns. If you want to get results, you have to put in time. It's like relationship. I mean, if you don't put in any work, it's probably going to fall apart. You know, like anything in life, you know, if you buy a car and you never put any work into it, it just falls apart, right?
Effort. I'm appalled.
So this next topic that y'all went into, these 3 posts, I'll tie these all together. They're all about raids in Temtem and the concept of raids. So I'm gonna go through all of them here, top to bottom, and then open it up. So one of the things he said, I'm gonna read these out of order, Kennedy. No, I'll read them in order because he posted them this way. So he said, if the player said this, I believe I'm reading this right, said if raids work on, someone's got to tell me what this is. Gakas? What is that?
Gotchas.
Oh, go ahead.
What is that?
Shinte.
Oh,
Shinte.
So it's basically like I would say kind of like if you're familiar with loot boxes in a way. So like there are these machines in Japan where you basically put in like change, right?
Yeah.
And it's like basically your typical, like when you're younger, you have these like quarters and you put them in these like machines, you turn the dial and you get like these toys that could be random.
Yeah.
Essentially gotchas are like, gotchas are like those type of machines that are super popular.
I googled it and it's a Spanish dish.
Gotcha games are the bane of my existence.
Yeah.
Raid Shadow Legends is a gotcha game.
So, what's Raid? So much money wasted on gotcha games. It's terrible. They pull me in like, just.
It's just essentially like a gambling kind of like aesthetic to it. It's just like
don't call it gambling. You're gonna make Activision, EA, and all these big companies upset.
True, I guess. I mean, you're upset. You're already going after them.
They're trying to argue this in court. I mean, come on.
So Ya says if raids work on gotcha games or gotchas, which are monster collection type of which are he wrote this weird. If raids are work on gotchas, which are monster collect type of game, Temtem can do it also. I think that was the players must have said that. And y'all replied, if you have any idea to make a raid with turn-based battles remotely fun, please post it in the forum. So it sounds like Ya doesn't think they'd be fun. And he goes on to say, I don't understand the people that want a raid in Temtem. Like, how would that work? And then he goes on again to reply to the same person that was asking about the money, saying, anyways, player is... at player, I'm not going to out them. And he was at player is okay if Temtem is not the game for you. Again, telling people it's okay not to play Temtem. But Temtem is an MMO, and in parentheses, still is what he means. We've never promoted Temtem having any kind of raid, dungeon, or something similar to what you are used to in the MMOs you've played, but not having raids doesn't convert the game into something else. It's still an MMO. So again, I just want to hug Ya. Like, he's just out there on the line defending it. But yeah, so this is
bearing his soul
to
the community here.
He is.
I feel like where people are coming from with this, because like from the sounds of it, it sounds like, and I feel like y'all probably felt this way too when he responded to a lot of the answers, it sounds to me as though that these people are comparing it to like kind of like Pokemon Go in a way, where they're
Right.
introducing like raids and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, like it's gonna be really hard to implement that.
When he said
let alone
remotely
really-
fun, I thought too. I'm like, oh man, he's throwing shit at Pokemon Go.
I mean,
No,
let's say they do something like, like do a raid where the Temtem, or there's multiple Temtem to battle, like I don't know, one for each tamer or whatever. Say there's 4 tamers. Say there's 8. I don't know. Waves of Temtem, something. I don't know. But there has to be a way. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Pokemon Sword and Shield, but I do personally enjoy the Dynamax raids. I think they're fairly fun. They are turn-based. It does work. Obviously, I'm not asking for a clone of that, and nor am I asking for raids, but I feel like there would be a way to implement something like that. But yeah, people are comparing it to either Pokemon Go. What they're really doing, though, is they want Dynamax raids. That's what people are asking for, really. Let's be honest, that's what people are asking for, because the only game you can really compare Temtem to as far as games go is creature collecting game, Pokemon. I mean, they did it. Why can't Temtem do it? I mean, come on, guys.
I think the last post goes a little bit wider than that, though, because he's debating about is it an MMO or not, and what defines an MMO. Because he says any type of raid or dungeon, which I think kind of people hear MMO
MMORPG.
They think of
what
RPG.
They generally think.
Right, exactly. And he's
always had raids.
And he's communicating. He's like, listen, this is an MMO. It's not that type of MMO. It's something completely different. So I understand and completely get the essence of what y'all is saying. But I also agree with you guys. And there has to be some kind of fun mechanic they could really out of the box they could implement. That's group PvE content. Really, let's stop using the word raid. Let's stop using the word dungeon or Pokemon. Just I think what everyone's asking for, if this is going to be an MMO, give us group PvE content. I think, right? At the end of the day, that's what we want to see.
I mean, co-op works, doesn't it?
So
co-op is 2 players doing turn-based.
There was a lot of discussion around this topic on the Discord, and y'all actually had more posts responding to a couple other players, and they did bring up some of the points that we brought up. And essentially, what everybody's point, boiled down to were things that mechanically weren't very interesting to implement in a game like Temtem. Of players wanting a big thing to hit, and the ideas for implementing dungeons weren't very viable, at least the ones that were discussed. And y'all kind of broke down each of them of just like, oh, so you want this and this and this, and it's like, yeah. It's like, wait a second, that's not fun. And then y'all, it's like, yeah, exactly. So he did say, like he always says, go to the forums, make suggestions if you have ideas on this. And resulting from this suggestion, actually, Tao did put a pretty interesting idea up. A community member that's on the suggestion forums that was borrowed ideas from how Guild Wars 2 does its puzzle system and its guild puzzles. I still don't think that that's very fun for Temtem, but it's on the official forums if anybody wants to go and read it and contribute to this discussion, or if anybody has any better ideas.
Do you, Kennedy, unless, Shinte, you got any comment on the raid thing before we move on to the last bit of the weekly mix?
I mean, apart from just like other than just being raids, I mean, personally, I would like to see maybe some type of content for more so clubs to be more involved other than just like club wars. That would be interesting, but I'm sure they probably have ideas already fleshed out and probably are thinking about it.
Do you mean the current community-ran club awards or to future content?
I mean,
because they have the dojo in-game awards are
I think he means apart from PvP.
Yeah, apart from just PvP club wars, I want to see if they could come up with something other than just PvP that could essentially have the whole club work together as a group or something that basically allows them.
Club-wide race from Kisiwa to Dennis.
Let's do it.
Spawn everybody into the same server at the same time, and everybody race.
Only if I can dance emote. Only if I can dance emote at each checkpoint to combine your dance battle idea into this too, please, and get paid for it. Kennedy, why don't you round up this talk about the mythics? I'll pull up the tweets here as you do that are being referenced and broadcast.
So there was discussion happening on the Discord and the competitive chat where people were very hesitant about the implementation of mythical Temtems, and a lot of players were expressing their concerns that they hope mythical Temtems are useful in other areas of the game rather than just like the storyline. And TMT Trainer actually chimed into this conversation and said, assuming that the information's still accurate, and he posted some links to some tweets and went on to make the point that mythical Temtems were being designed with the assumption that everybody's going to have access to the same equally statted version.
I'll pause you. I'll read the two tweets quick that he linked to. I think he said like if these are still accurate is what he said, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the first one, this was back on June 5th, 2018. We're talking Kickstarter days when none of us even knew what Temtem was, but there was talk and tweets about it back then. They tweeted, mythical Temtem are a group of very rare Temtem. They will only appear once in each Tamer's adventure, and they are very related to the Archipelago's mythology. With our next goal in Kickstarter, we'll include a new mythical Temtem in the game. And then the follow-up comment reply, when this is where things get spicy, is they replied to someone and said they're not going to be breedable, but Mythicals will have fixed SVs, so everyone will get the same Temtem with the same stats. So even though this is old news from June 5th, 2018, I didn't know this. I don't know if you guys knew this. So it's nice to, if that's still accurate, which, did they clarify in Discord if this is still accurate? Yeah, go on.
So on this, y'all actually chimes into this conversation and says that this information is no longer accurate.
Okay.
That so the design, and that's why I titled this "Mythical Temtems have changed from their initial concept." Y'all didn't go and specifically say which parts of it are inaccurate, but it is not accurate. So the possibility of having mythical Temtems with wildly different stats might exist. Temtem designed in a way that the assumption that every player is going to have access to an equal version of them might vary, and whether or not these things are going to be useful in PvP and dojo wars and who knows, like even free timming, that we're just going to have to hold our breath until they come out. Yeah. So, and this is a pretty classic Krima move where they go in, and not saying it's like a good or bad thing, but like we've just seen this a lot happen on the show, where we'll have a piece of like news or solid information about something that might have like 5 different aspects of it, and then they'll say like, part of this isn't correct, but they don't say what isn't correct. So it's like, well, now I guess we just have to throw all of this out of the window because any one of these.
That's not just classic Krema. That's a lot of in progress game development, I think. And also, I wouldn't hold their feet to the fire. That tweet was from and
I'm not saying, and that's why I preface, like, I'm not saying like this is a good or bad thing. Like, it's happened before where it's just like ideas change in the design process. They're busy designing. We'll get the announcement when this comes up on the slate to be the thing that's going to be released. So for now, we don't know much about mythical Temtems, and we probably know a little bit less.
So,
which is the main pull away from this.
Guys and Shinte, want to throw it to you guys before we move on from the news? Any thoughts, comments on the Mythicals? I mean, I guess there's not a lot to comment on, but maybe you have something. We know that Mythicals may or may not have changed from their original design plan.
Are there shiny variants?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because if they're only single encounter, that's going to infuriate people.
Well, and if
but also, I mean, I feel like I don't know what stat wise what Mythicals are, but I feel like they should handle it the way Pokemon does. They should be banned from actual ranked competitive. I think they should be allowed in standard, just normal match
Unranked.
Competitive, and then tourneys that are held that way can do whatever. But I don't have much more than that. I just want to know if they have odds to be Lumas, and if they do,
hope they're at least breedable. Give us a little bit better odds.
No.
Well,
no,
actually,
not breedable. Get out of here.
No, I mean if they have to. Well, here's what I was gonna say. I don't
a
like
new
the idea
game.
of them being breedable as mythicals. It doesn't make sense for them to be breedable if they're rare one-offs.
They can't be breedable. They're
Yeah.
mythical. They're
Right?
not
No,
normal,
I
average.
agree completely because you can't have 8 of them running around if it's mythical. But with that said, we're all gonna have it following us already, so there's already gonna be 8,000 of them. So I don't know, but I
Can
get
you
it.
ride them? Are they the mounts?
Ooh, that would be cool. Shinty, anything on mythicals? Comments, thoughts, wishes?
I mean, honestly, not really, because it's just one of the things that people are just speculating about. So I'm literally just gonna wait to see what they provide in terms of just like information. It's just one of those things. It's a waiting game. You just gotta see what they give.
That's the
really, and just
practical
go from there.
rationale. Is just sit tight and wait.
Yeah, literally. Just, I mean, there isn't really anything I can really add or say for myself other than just speculate, right? So
Kennedy is bouncing with excitement for our next session.
I love listener questions.
That's
They're
right.
so much fun.
That's right. We got a listener question. Play the transition
People
clip.
listen to this rambling nonsense of 3 to 4 mad men and or possibly women in the future.
We need
Not
to
only do
get
they
a female
listen to
guest
it,
on
they
here. I just
enjoy it.
realized we need to get a female guest on here. We need to have a little more balance and diversity on the show.
We really do.
But-
Way to be sexist, Mama.
But with that said, hey, if you're I was gonna say if you're a female and you want to be in the show, let me know. But I don't want 100. No, actually, yeah, let me know. Anyways,
and you have. Hey, wait, Grim. Grim could totally come on.
I've thought about that. She doesn't really play that much Temtem.
I mean, she has though.
Yeah, she has, but she doesn't play that
Too bad
much.
Umi no Kaiju doesn't still play. Umi no Kaiju's fantastic. I mean, she might still have something to say about Temtem. I don't know if she ever plans on returning though.
Listen,
but she used to play a ton.
If you're a female and you got an opinion and you're okay being on a talk show, reach out. We'd love to have you. We'd love to hear from you.
Please.
With that said, speaking of reaching out and hearing from you, that's the encounter sound for the listener questions. If you want to be cool like this listener, send us an email at temtalkshow@gmail.com. temtalkshow@gmail.com. Be like Shintegami. He wrote in twice and he got on the show. Coincidence?
Nice.
Who knows?
Don't forget about the $100 dono.
Wait, who got $100 donor from
also the
Shinty?
4 Lumas he gave me too.
Whoa!
Wait,
whoa,
did Shinty bribe you too? Because
RNC.
Shinty,
Banned.
if you're bribing to get on TemTalk, you need to send the bribes to me, not these two yahoos.
Oh God, I am not involved in any of this at all.
So we got a question from Sami. Sami wrote, "Hey, I wonder what is your guys' opinion on Trick Room, which is in parentheses Deceit Aurora. So Trick Room's the Pokemon version. And Deceit Aurora again is Nagai's one of 2 traits. We talked about it quite a bit. Being a trait rather than a move, like in Pokemon. Do you believe it unlocks more strats, or does it limit it, and does it have less counterplay for being a trait? Since in Pokemon you can also click Trick Room and reverse it." Thanks again, Sami, for writing in.
Yeah, thank you for writing in. Appreciate it. So I'll go first because I don't really have a lot of like Shintegami, although Shintegami has slightly more PvP interaction than I do.
Tiny bit.
I think like so when you have a Nagai's, people don't immediately know if it's a Deceit or a Nagai's. Like you can't tell when they're selecting it. So I think it still has the same level of the same element of surprise, I would say, as having it as a move. And I think that it allows for slightly more strategy, possibly. But at the same time, let's be real, it's going to get banned 90% of the time at this point. So it's hard to say.
Ooh, we can say when we get onto one of our other points later in the show.
Well, if it's relevant to the question.
Yeah, what are you
go for
talking?
it,
Just
Kennedy.
say it now.
Yeah.
Nagai is actually has one of the I'm tracking data, and we'll talk about this later when we get to the data project. But Nagai actually has one of the highest ban rates in the game right now.
Told you.
Or
You can put it on your team, but it's going to get banned anyway. So your strategy is don't use it.
Well, I mean, still baiting a ban is great because baiting
Wow.
a ban means you get to build a team around Kinu.
See, even better strategy built right into Nagai's. The old
Yeah.
bait ban. Surprise! that wasn't even Nagai's.
So I just looked up its ban rate. I have it currently at 57% ban rate.
And just to cite your source, this is what from which tournaments? Pooled data tournaments.
This is we'll talk about this when we get to the Temtem data project, but this is
okay.
from I've been tracking games from everywhere, from all over the game. And I have about 50 to 60 games recorded, and I'm going to add more onto this. It's a growing project.
Okay. That's it's from that. Okay.
But yeah, let's focus on this question, the
Yeah.
deceit
Yeah,
aura.
yeah.
Do you want me to tackle it next, or
Yeah,
do,
I was gonna say I'm sure you have. Actually, if anything, Shinte, do you have anything on there before we let Kennedy go? Because he's gonna really go hard on this.
Yeah.
one.
I guess for me, like on my opinion with having Trick Room, I think it's neat that we have versatility to really implement or potentiality, like to really build on just the trait itself to really work around. But at the same time, I feel like for me, it's a bit of a waste because since like Kennedy mentioned, it's a really high ban rate. It kind of just like is a bit of a it's just a ban bait. Or bait ban, however you want to pronounce that. It's just there to be there for people to kind of like focus on and target. Even if it is played on field, it's just gonna be the first thing to be targeted on, right? So I kind of don't like it for like personally speaking, because I'd rather have a move rather than a trait to have that kind of effect, if anything. Just exactly as how Trick Room is implemented, I feel like that would make the player field so much more focused around an effect such as Trick Room or Deceit Aura in this case.
Okay, I am actually in the opposite boat of everybody. Von, do you want to give your opinion before I go? Because
No,
I think I'm like the devil's advocate here.
It's interesting. I've really gotten a lot just personally less interested in PvP lately in Temtem and way more into collection. Which is kind of reverse of what I've done. So I haven't really been involved in the meta. So I really don't have an opinion on this. So no, you take it away, man. Go ahead.
Are you gonna go to the bathroom now, Von?
No, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna stay here and listen. I was just thinking about that. I'm
just making sure.
I was just thinking. I'm like, I can't leave right now.
The PvP section. So
I'm saving that for tournaments, Gaijin, for the tournament section.
I really, really, really like how Deceit Aura is implemented in the game as a trait. And I think it's extremely balanced as a trait because there's the cool thing about Temtem is the ban button. No Tem is ever 100% guaranteed to get through the pick and ban phase because if it's too overpowered, you can simply ban it and then it can't do anything. So you can't build a Deceit Aura team around the assumption that you're going to have Deceit Aura because if people see you have like Golder, Volcrane, Turok, Rolder, and all these slow, hard-hitting Temtems, and in the guys on your team, it's like they're going to say, that's a Deceit Aura team. I'm going to ban the guys, and I'm going to rip apart the rest of this team. So you're never 100% guaranteed to get your Deceit Aura on, which means you have to build and layer in multiple strategies into your team of, if I get in the guys, I can play like this. If I don't get in the guys, here are other strategies I have. One of the problems with it being a move in Pokemon, and you can see this in literally any of the last couple of VGC tournaments, what happens is people, when you reverse speed, when you inverse, priority and speed, like what Trick Room does, like what Deceit Aura does, it optimizes your Tems because now a Tem having 30, a Tem is balanced around the assumption we can give Golder a bajillion HP because he's only got a 30 in his speed. And even though he's incredibly hard to kill, he's always going to go last and he's always going to get hit really hard. So when you give him Deceit Aura, that 30 in speed now becomes 160 in speed because it's flipped, it's backwards. And so not only does he have a huge amount of HP, he has a huge amount of speed, and his stats get so much more optimized. And no matter what you're doing, at the end of the game, at the end of the day, these types of games are numbers games. So when you can get that level of optimization on your team, you always want to go for it. So when you look at these VGC tournaments, what people do is they play blind Trick Room teams. They go things like Dusclops and Whimsicott that have the ability to use Trick Room at the start of the game, and nothing can one-shot a Whimsicott, nothing can one-shot a Dusclops, and they always get Trick Room off, and then they die, and then 100% of their team gets that super stat optimization where now they can just, literally hit the other team with their numbers as hard as they can. When you make it in when you make it an ability like that lasts and lingers on the field even when the Tem's not there, it puts very less counterplay around it, where then it becomes everybody's playing blind Trick Room teams, where it's just like no matter what their strategy is, I don't have to interact with their team. I don't have to think about what they're doing. I'm just going to throw my Whimsicott out. I'm going to press Trick Room. I'm going to throw my next slow Temtem out, or Pokemon out. I'm going to Dynamax, and I'm going to hit them really hard. Like, if Trick Room worked like that, it's like, okay, I'm going to throw my Nagai's out. I'm going to Trick Room. And the Nagai's is going to die. I'm going to bring in 2 Temps that Stone Ball at low priority, and I'm just going to hit them with this 150 damage move that burns for 2 turns. And, like, they're just going to die eventually. One of the really cool things about it being a trait is that Nagai's needs to stay on the field in order to use it. And that means that Nagai's is susceptible to damage the whole time it's out. So you're not guaranteed to have this game-changing, altering mechanic. And I think that balances it much more than it being an ability that you just click and die.
You lost me in the numbers there in the middle, but that point at the end makes sense to me, and actually I like that. I like that it's a threat that can be removed and be done away with, right? Is basically what I'm saying.
You can always interact with Trick Room.
Right.
Like, Nagai's is going to be there. Or not Trick Room, Deceit Aura.
And Trick Room, can you not interact? I see. I don't know anything about Trick Room in Pokemon. Is it? And it's not the same setup, and it's not quite the same.
So with Trick Room, you use it on Pokemon, and it lasts for 5 turns.
I see.
All turn orders are reversed.
So once it's been used, it's just out there for the next 5 turns.
Yeah, and so you go double blind leads that Trick Room and die.
Well,
so
I had to laugh because I just noticed while you were talking about all this that in the background behind you, all we can see is the nickname of your one Whiplump, which is Gaijin Blue on screen. Sometimes it's right next to you. It just says Gaijin Blue. Where's the Temtem named after me? You should be in the other slot.
Oh, well, it's a grandpa. I can't use it to free time.
Free timing. All right, let's move along. Thanks again, Sami, for the question. Be like Sami, temtalkshow@gmail.com. With that said, let's look at some highlights from the community, eh?
Hey.
I was just gonna. I knew you were gonna call that out. So you guys see my Minnesotan slipping out there a little bit.
I mean, Minnesotan, Canadian.
Yeah.
It's not just a Minnesotan thing.
Oh, it's a Minnesotan thing. There's a lot of Minnesotan things that are Canadian things because we're so close to each other. So the first thing I pulled up was just some fun art. I liked this. This was cool. This is some art of some fan out of Yarler from Marshmallow.
Yowler, not Yarler.
What did I say?
You said Yar.
Ooh,
Yarler.
Yowler, excuse me, Yowler.
Thank you. Like Howler, but with a Y.
But I thought it was really cool. I like this. This is the Luma form, right? I haven't even seen a Yowler for a while.
I didn't know
that's the
regular.
standard form.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? I just thought
You haven't seen a Yowler? You fought a Yowler?
No, I've seen one. I haven't seen one in a while. Is what I was gonna say. I
Oh.
haven't seen one in a while.
Because
Because you only see them playing through the story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
think
that's what I'm saying. It's been a while since I've seen one in
just
game.
the dojo leader, right?
Right.
Yes.
So I'm saying I couldn't remember what color they were, but anyways, very cool. Looking forward to hopefully catching one soon. Hoping we don't have to wait till the next island. Hope we get it in Kiswa patch 2.0.
Hopefully.
Okay, so Kennedy, before we open up the data, let's talk about your Temtem data project. Let's just go to this other one real quick first, and then swing back.
Cool. I'm responding to Putt in chat, so I was wasn't
perfect.
ready to talk.
No,
Let me
perfect.
finish.
Although I'm gonna need you to talk about this because I didn't get a chance to look at this super close yet. So the other thing that we're highlighting is an early access free Tem guide in .6, which is the current game. So it's really, from what I've read, I didn't get a chance to read this because Kenny pulled this in. But what I can tell you is it's really well organized and it looks very well presented. Kenny, tell me what is actually in this well written, well organized, presented post.
Okay, so yeah, that's a free Temming guide, and it just has information about a person who went and tested a lot of different free Temming spots with a lot of different Tem teams, and they found out what the best way was to make money in Kiswa as far as like the most convenient spots, the spots that make the most Pansuns per hour, etc., etc., etc. So things that are important to take away from this: Whiplump in the northern Tassa Desert Cave is going to make you the most Pansuns per hour. Um,
Can you
if
show on the
you-
map which cave this is behind you?
yeah,
Just to
let
confirm.
me. It's actually the one I'm in. I'm just gonna run away from this
Yeah.
encounter, even though I've already.
I didn't mean to throw off your groove, but I think it'd be good to show right on the map.
Yeah, and I'll turn off my web camera. Watch this be like a Luma Acronox on stream that's just like, oh, you can't run.
While you get there, so what they have listed out here is various setups for those not watching the video. They've listed various setups of Tems like Whip Plump versus Whip Plump, Kinu versus Saku, Moflank plus Tukai, and then they have numbers crunched based on different locations. And then they talk about the net Pansuns per hour, the captures that you're going to get per hour, the capture percentage, and their sample size, which I don't know if their sample size means just if they just did a single encounter or a single hour. I'm not sure. And then
They did 99 Tem cards.
That's what one sample is.
Yeah, how
Okay.
long it took them to go through.
Got it. And then they go down into, they have some other combinations of setups of Tems at different locations and numbers and stats and all that. So Kennedy's got it pulled up now. So it's that cave that you're standing right outside of. Yeah.
Yeah. And so Whip Lump at the Northern Tossa Desert cave. It's going to give you the most Pansuns per hour. Mooflink Tukai gives you the most catches per hour, but not by much. So that is just what it is. And then they just kind of went through different setups and different numbers for other locations. It's on the official forums. I saw it on Reddit, but you can just go to the official forums under guides and read this. And I thought it would be really helpful for anybody who needed that information.
It's if you're completely min-maxing, double Wimp Plumps is the way to go. But I'll point out that if you have Moflank and Tukai, the number is fairly close. You're making only 300 less Pansuns per hour. So if you really are sick of Whip Plumps like me, you can do Moflank and Tukai and get almost the same amount per hour. I mean, I'm reading that correctly, right?
Yes. Yeah. Plus or minus 300. So yeah, it's not much. I'm using double Whip Lumps right now. When I get bored with them, I just pull. I have a Tukai and Moflink in my bag. I pull those out. So.
Gaijin, Shinte, you guys have been doing a lot of free time. Any comments on this? What's your thoughts?
Shinte.
You want to go first, Gaijin? Okay. I guess for me personally, the place that I normally go to the most would be the North Cave Desert, Tossa Desert, with Whip Lump. That is the most that I normally do, and it's the easiest that it tends to be for me. When I found out for myself that if I went, I did this just because I literally was bored. I went through 1,000 Psy cards on North Cave. Just as a joke, just to see how much it would what 1,000 would run me through. And I think I got 100,000, 85,000 Pansuns as a total off 1,000 Psy cards. So, yeah. Roughly around 85,000 to almost 90,000 Pansuns off 1,000 Psy cards. But that's like, the time was like just all over the place because I wasn't consistent with it all the time. So I basically just like went through like 400 in like 2 days, and then the latter 600 was just like the rest of the week, just to see how much it would get me at that point. Yeah, that was pretty much it.
Free temming. All I have to say is resident sleeper. I just can't do it. If I were, I think at this point, if I'm going to do any free temming, it's going to be for other people. I think I'm just going to catch them and then sell them to other people for more money. So $250 a piece instead of the 100 whatever you get from them. This way, people can take their time to do whatever they want and give me money.
And you can make more money. I gotta laugh. Just while we were in the forums, I noticed I had a notification under the TemTalk account, and this person replied to this post I made back in May of our 14th episode, and they just replied and said, "Good." So comment of the year here, really. You're killing it out there on the internet. I shouldn't make fun. You actually responded and made a comment. You're one of the few people that has on the TemTalk forums. Thank you. I appreciate it. But it also makes me laugh. Sorry, anyways. All right, Kennedy. Data project. Tell us about the Temtem data project, sir.
Pull this up on stream. Pull this up on stream because I haven't shared this all with the community yet, and I cannot wait to talk about this. I talked about this to a couple people. So the Temtem data project is something that I am spearheading up myself. I'm getting help from a couple people. But Crema has statistics on, how all of the Tems are performing, how all the matches are going, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They share those with us once in a blue moon. So what I started doing was recording as many games as I possibly could. And this data is not going to be super dependable until I get like hundreds of games in this. And I'm only at like, I think 60 games so far, or 56. But I started recording all of the games I could. And I record the pick and ban phase of, what Tems are picked, what Tems are banned in what order, and what Tems are unpicked. What player is playing on which side, and and who wins the match. And from that, I have been getting really interesting information about how some Tems are performing and like what's going on inside of the game. So there's some really cool things that this data has like shown, and I can't wait to get more of it.
Well, there's a lot of typing and data you put into this. Holy cow!
Yes, and I have a Google survey, and so when this gets like when I have enough information that I feel like it's dependable, where you can look at it and say, okay, yes, like I can look here and see like really cool stuff. I'm going to share it on the forums. But some really cool things.
I'm seeing right now, Tornite 100% win rate confirmed. Tornite most OP. Don't look at the fact it was only played one time. Just look at the percentage.
Any Tems that only get played once are excluded from the calculations on the next page. So if you see in best win rate, Tornite's not there. And then I have a different area where I can say like, what's the minimum number of games where Tem needs to be played? Yeah, and then it'll show that win rate there.
If you change it to 1, will Tornite show up? If I change it to 1,
a lot of Tems should show up.
Why didn't Tornite come in?
Let's see.
Are you throwing out if there's just one game, does it not come in at all? We're picking it apart. We're digging in. We're finding holes. Conspiracy against Tornite.
I'll go and I'll fix all the formulas. But yeah, I have it auto sorted not to accept anything that has one game on it.
Hashtag free Tornite.
Yeah. So anyways, really cool things that this data has shown is that one, Kinu is at, and so this is confirmed by the Roadhouse Rumble. If you go and look at the OI Prox and what he is, what OI Prox is doing, he's collecting data on everything. He put out the information for the Roadhouse Rumble this past week, and Kinu was at a 93% usage rate on his chart. I have Kinu at an 83% usage rate, but just like such a crazy amount of Kinu being ran really speaks measures for the community to have a case of like, why Protector buff is so overpowered. And if it's not overpowered, why are so many people running it disproportionately to all other Tems out there? The next thing was really interesting. Nagai's has a super high ban rate, the highest ban rate of the times it's ran on a team, but the most banned Tem is Kinu, obviously, because it shows up more. And the other thing that's really, really cool that my data actually falls in line with OI Prox's data is Mix was the best performing Tem at Roadhouse Rumble. And my data from the 55 games that I was able to record says that, out of Tems that, have shown up enough in this, that Mix has the best win rate out of all of the Tems and is performing the best. And OI Prox had it at 73% for Roadhouse Rumble. My data, I think I have it at 67%, but it's pretty decently close.
That's interesting.
And yeah, it's really
Mix
it's really
is the sleeper winner of the meta right now. Is this what I'm hearing as my takeaway on a high level?
I mean, I'm not surprised.
It's really, really cool to be able to look at all of this data in these interesting ways. So I wanted to share it that I'm working on this, and I can't wait to share more with everybody. I cut you off, Gaijin. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I just saying I'm not surprised. Mix has always been a fairly decent Temtem, provided you can play him properly. It just takes a bit more skill than others, I think,
I would say
to
that's
actually
true.
like
With the
to play.
with the puppeteer trait especially.
Yeah.
Um,
So just putting it in at the right time or whatever.
Kennedy, are you're doing this all by yourself? This is not open for the public to dump data into yet. This isn't a call to action to have other people help you yet. Or are you looking for like a few select volunteers to help you or something?
I have a server where I've actually been. So all I need is a screenshot, and I'll actually try and show this on screen real quick. All I need is a screenshot of the pick and ban phase, and with that information, I can extrapolate everything that I need.
Won't you need to pick and ban plus results of who won?
Yeah, so let's see. Here we go. I'll put it in my screen over here, and I'll turn off my web camera. Where's my
live campaign? There's a D&D campaign going on right now.
Yeah, I know, right? And live chat widget. There we go. If you see right here, I have I get to see this entire player's team, right? Tsubaki-chan, Grandpa, and there's something where it's like you're able to know what was banned first, where it's like obviously Grandpa's going to be banned before Pick-a-Peck's ban.
Yeah.
And so I get to see the whole team, what was banned and what was unpicked, and then I get to see the order that they picked their Tems.
So do you want people to send you screenshots of pick and bans?
Yeah. If people send me screenshots on Discord, Presby, Kennedy, look on any of the Temtem Discords or tweet them to me, I can input the data into the spreadsheet. And then I also need to know the TMR or the tournament that they're playing in, because that's one of the things that I can sort. If you saw on the data sheet, is not only I'm working. So right now I can do win rate by TMR, but I'm working on figuring out the formulas to sort Temtem by TMR as far as like their performance rate, so that we can see at which levels of play what Temtems are doing better and what Temtems are doing worse. So yeah, if you send me these, I would be super appreciative. I have this private server for myself where like as I'm like spectating games, I just screenshot the pick and ban phase, and then I just put it in here, and then I go back later and I put in the stuff into the spreadsheet. So I've got these two to put in from the fellow neighbors cut. But yeah, cool. This it's going to be really cool. I can't wait to share it because I'm a data guy for my job, and it's like seeing data about my hobby and like the thing I love is so super interesting, where it's just like we can break this down on a level at which we've never been able to before. And I love you, Crema, and thank you for designing this game, but screw you. We don't need your numbers if you don't want to give them to us. But if you give them to us, I'm thankful for them. So, hey.
Yeah.
Well, data puts me to sleep.
Yeah, we'll have to check in with you as you develop more how it changes. But we're already nearing. We're pretty much at an hour and a half. We have like 4 sections to go, so let's keep moving. I chose to not have a Temtem of the week or main topic. I knew we weren't going to need it with 4 people in the news. So without further ado, catch that Temtem. The sound of a capturing Tem. With that, what have we been up to this week? Shinte, you're the guest. What have you been doing in Temtem lately?
Yeah, so I finally finished TV training and putting together a team comp. I kind of put together kind of like a meme team comp because I included Corin,
Comp?
Yeah, a meme comp basically. I put Corin, Cernif, and Mooflank, and I called it the Three Musketeers as my team comp. And then I had like Yaois, Kinu. Also, I believe I had Whiplump and Volorant as well. So I basically played some comp with that team after, and I tanked hella TMR from what I was at.
Uh-oh.
So I mean, to be fair, though, I
all of
expected
Tsubaki's hard work ruined.
It's okay. I'll get it back. It's okay. I'll get it back. Yeah. I mean, apart from that, within Temtem, I just literally just did more Luma hunting for Rolder because that's like the 5% that I'm trying to find right now.
You're not gonna find Rolder on the moon, buddy.
Yeah.
Or on Io or
Mercury or Mars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I play a lot, and yeah, I played a lot of Destiny 2, basically. A lot. Like I probably sunk maybe like 35 hours, 40 hours already. hit Destiny 2 in like the span of like a week.
Did you just start playing recently, or did you come back to it?
I came back to it because I
Okay.
played by myself when it became free, when it was with when Bungie was still with Blizzard and Activision, and so
Sure.
when they announced about a new DLC and like a season pass, I was like, okay, I gotta immediately
Wait.
jump back into this. Cause
We're getting sidetracked. Did Bungie leave Activision Blizzard? Is Destiny
Yeah.
no longer?
Oh yeah. They split, dude.
So is
a long time
Destiny
ago.
not a Blizzard game anymore then, or in
Nope.
the launcher?
Well, they no,
It
they
was
moved to
showing up
Steam
in my
now.
Blizzard launcher forever. Is it not going to show up there now?
No, it's gone. They're all
gone now.
done with Activision.
Mhm.
They're done being puppets for
When did this
the
happen?
evil corporation.
When did this happen?
Like last year?
Really?
Yeah, last year. Yeah.
Jeez. I haven't been opening the Blizzard launcher obviously in the last year very much. Interesting.
I mean, you opened to play Heroes of the Storm the other day.
I did, but I didn't take the time to look at all the games. Interesting. Sorry, I'm getting distracted.
It's okay.
Yeah, myself and Temtems, short and sweet. I've been still Luma hunting Ninja still. I talked about last week. It's my last non-kissable Luma I want to get. Didn't get it, but didn't spend that much time doing it. I've been trying to avoid burnout, so I've been playing a little bit less Temtem. But I've been playing less and avoiding burnout so I can go hard on weeks like this when Saipark's amazing. I'm planning on doing a lot of Saipark this week and a lot of Luma hunting. So that's my last week, and that's going to be my week this week. What about Gaijin Kennedy?
Kennedy, go ahead.
For me, I had another epic week in Temtem. I was absolutely killing it. I did the big dumb at the start of the week, and I was playing ranked, and I AFK'd the queue, and I was just like, I forgot why I even did it, but I AFK'd the queue, and I came back, and I was like, oh crap, I was in the queue, and it auto banned and auto picked the first half of my team, and I picked up the rest of the game, and I was just
that's
like,
not good.
well, this is gonna be rough. And I actually was able to outplay my opponent, and it came down to our last Tim, and everybody, hates special attacking, full speed, aerobic Volarin, but in shotgun situations where it's like, a Mexican standoff and the first one to pull their gun downs the other, like, Volarin came through for me, and I won that game, even though I was AFK for the first half of it. And then that just like triggered a spiel of just like good luck. So I'm actually on like a 5-game winning streak from ranked, and I'm at my highest TMR right now at 1192. I know it's not much, but like I don't play as much as everybody else. So, but it's like I'm really hyped for it. Like I'm about to touch 1200 TMR.
That's
and
really
I'm getting
hyped.
like,
no, congratulations, man. You're eight
Yeah,
away, right?
Yeah, I'm 8 away.
So
I'm literally
you could be one match away unless you lose it. See, this is what happens to me. Is I get really close to a goal, and then you lose that one, and then I lose the next one, and I go on tilt, and I slide down to 1,000 TMR.
Like exactly, like that's where I'm at right now. Where it's just like I know it's one win. I'm getting 3,000 Pansun per win, which like to me is just like taking my breath away. Every time I win a game, and it's just like I don't want to mess up because it thinks I should be higher for some reason. So I don't want to mess up whatever the algorithm is doing that's rewarding me so many Pansuns. Yeah. And I'm just like, hey, all I got to do is just win. And then I just go to the next tier of play and I keep climbing. But like my brain's getting to me and I get really bad tournament nerves. And like I got a fear of failure. So I played like 5 ranked games at the start of last week, and I haven't played another one since. I'm pretty much only going to play a ranked game now if I do it on stream and somebody like convinces me to. Otherwise, now I'm just a completely tournament player. I'm retiring.
That's
1192
that's
TMR.
The problem with TMR systems is you get afraid to play because you don't want to lower it.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a bunch of fun playing. I free Tim'd a bunch. I bought some stuff off of Plus OP's auction, and I'm really bad with money. Like it felt so nice to have money to spend at the auction. I had 60,000 Pansuns that I actually bought Tim's for other people last week, where like somebody's like, man, I really want to bid on this, but I'm out of Pansuns. I was like, raise his bid by 10k plus. I got him. I didn't even know who the player was. But I did that for like 2 people, and so now I have hold on, I'll show you guys. Oh no, I can't. I'm in battle. I have a whopping beautiful 7k Pansuns on my account.
Look at you.
So Yeah.
Careful. Don't spend it all in one place.
Yeah. Gaijin, what
Yeah.
about you? What's your week in Temtem been like?
My week in Temtem has been fairly relaxed. I only played, I think, maybe 2 days inside Temtem. I just wasn't feeling it this week, and I knew Luma week was coming up, so I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna not play Temtem right now. So I checked out some other games, and I was playing some Sea of Thieves and Destiny 2, and I checked out a new game called Spiritfarer, which
I've been hearing a lot about it.
I did play one day on stream, but I'm like, nah, this game gonna make me cry, so I'll do it in my own time. It's
nice.
like Animal Crossing, except you make friends with them and then you spirit their fairies to the afterworld after you become friends. It's terrible, but gorgeous.
Very
Dang.
nice, very nice. Well, let's move on. Shinte's got some good stuff for us up here in this next part of the show. So let's hear those tutorials being sent out. 2 of them, not 1. The game suggestion idea factory. We got a guest on. We haven't done this area of the show for a couple of weeks, but it's with having someone on. It's nice to hear from them. So Shinte has 2 suggestions for the game, and he has 2 because we were sitting in Discord before doing our pre-show chat, and we told him he's got to come up with an idea. We didn't tell him he had to, but he could. And he came up with one. I'm like, that's really cool. I like it. And like Kennedy came out of the left field being like, I'm going to be really critical of that, just so you know, Shinte. And I was like, whoa, man, why are you throwing shade at him? So the summary of it was basically Kennedy was saying it wasn't very practical to be implemented and that we should only have ideas that are practical. And I said, no, let's so we have a very dreaming, so we have a very like high, sky's the limit suggestion. Like if you could have anything, what would it be in game, Shinte? Like what's your idea? And then Shinte came up with a more practical, hopefully easily to introduce one. So Shinte, I'll introduce the topic and why we have 2 of them with that. I'll let you go over whatever one you want to first. Guys wants to get a word in edgewise first.
Kennedy says practical, but then this is also coming from the person who wants us to have a single Luma that we swap out through cosmetic. So let's be real. I mean, Kennedy's not really the one to be talking about practicality here.
Listen, I was the defender of the impractical suggestion. I told Shinte he could still keep it, but Shinte, without
I can't
further
promise.
ado,
I'm not going to rip it apart, though. I haven't even heard it yet.
I mean, by all means, I'm all open for criticism and critical feedback. So I'm all
what do you
good.
got for us?
All right, so the first practical suggestion I would say that I have that I've noticed that has bothered me a lot is timestamps in chat. I have had experiences where, especially in club chats, when I have people who are living in different time zones, I see their past messages and I see basically what they have to say in the previous chat. And I'm thinking, oh, probably they posted it like 5 minutes ago. Like, I'm gonna respond to that. Meanwhile, they respond to the message like the next morning saying, like, yeah, I posted that message like 9 hours ago. And I'm sitting here going, okay, it would have been nice to know that, that I was responding to a very, very late message in that sense. It just would have been, it would be one of those like nice like quality of life type of things with timestamps.
So that's
right?
the practical one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the practical one that I had in mind.
Okay. You have more than 2.
So
Sorry, you added more.
Yeah,
in here.
I came up with one more because I was like, when we were in the middle of talking about like battles and comps and stuff, I came up with like a different comp, like a comp mode, like a battle mode kind of. So I'll go into that in just a moment. But
sure.
the first suggestion that I had, so this was like an idea off of, instead of like raids. Basically, this was coming off of the opinion that y'all had with saying how like how can raids be fun. So rather than raids, we could they could technically do what Gaijin said with waves of tamer battles and and like consistent battling with either just single player or even co-op potentially, just to kind of work with that as a way of making it fun for the individual to have that experience, and also as a potential Pansun farming method that could be an alternative as well. That was like one of the suggestions that I had in mind that kind of took out two birds with one stone.
I like it. That
Mhm,
PvE content, more PvE content,
yeah,
that more
yeah.
money farming doesn't. It would still be grindy, but it wouldn't necessarily maybe feel grindy if it was fun enough. So I love the battle
Yeah.
tower idea for sure.
Yeah, so that was
I-
actually one of the discussions that a lot of people brought up. That wasn't
Isn't
my own.
there?
So
Isn't something like that already planned? I thought they had something like that planned.
on the roadmap.
I think very
I-
vaguely
No,
they've
not
said
the
things that
not
we
the
could guess
roadmap.
were
They,
that.
there's a list of like confirmed and unconfirmed features
Oh,
on the
yeah.
forums, I believe.
I
Oh,
know
right.
the list you're talking about. I don't know if Battle Tower shows up specifically on it. But
I haven't. I don't know
I
about that
felt like
either.
it was mentioned that it. I mean, maybe I'm totally wrong, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I-
Top of my head, I'm not
I'll-
We'll
sure.
have to probably
I'll
check
find
on
it.
that.
I'll
Okay,
find it.
gotcha. And then the second, or technically third suggestion, but the second wild idea that I had that kind of came up on the spot while we're doing this discussion was the battle mode. So instead of just like regular comp battles, like traditional like pick and ban phases and choosing Tems, I was thinking, why not do like a weird, wacky take on swapping Tems amongst your opponents? So you choose a Tem on your opponent that your opponent has on their
Mhm.
side. You take it as your team, and they get to pick one to add onto their team, essentially. So like this is coming from like a Dota like 2 game mode where they have teams basically choose each other's characters, and then they choose abilities that is just a huge like weird mix and mash of like abilities. It's really like a fun game mode.
Yeah,
So I was thinking
that's funny.
if people aren't into like the super hardcore PvP aspect of just like, you know, climbing up the ladder and stuff, like why not there be like a fun wacky like battle kind of like to do with that in mind. I don't know how difficult that would be in terms of coding, but I mean that's just again
that's why it's in
another
the wild suggestion area.
again it is wild suggestion. Yeah.
I will jump in on that one, and I will say they actually do have something like that planned. In the roadmap,
Oh.
there's a draft mode. I believe it's
Yeah, that's not what he's saying here though.
Well, no. So what draft mode is, if you've ever played like MTG draft,
Yeah.
basically what happens is you buy a pack of cards,
No,
and
I mean-
and four other people that you're playing against buy a pack of cards, and then from what everybody brings to the table, everybody constructs a deck from
Right.
those, and then they play. So like I could definitely see Temtem draft mode.
So
like
what
you
Shinte's saying though is do all of that, but then the deck that you construct, or in this case the team of Tems, your opponent has to play with, and you play with the team that they drafted. That's the suggestion.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I say?
Yeah.
Let's go with completely random. It just the PvP looks at your inventory of every Temtem you've ever caught, and then just
Oh, boy.
completely randomly picks from your boxes,
Gives you
and then
5 points.
randomizes all the TVs. Like they're just random for the
That
battle.
would be fun. That would be super fun, I would say.
On your first point too, Shinty, I did go and look it up. On the suggestion forum, they do have a area of battle tower, and next to it is listed plan.
Oh,
of.
Kennedy says, "Oh, I went and looked it up. I was looking it up and waiting for all of you to finish so I could say that. I said I was going to look it up,
Hold on,
and then
wait,
here
wait,
Kennedy
wait.
is stealing my."
Guys, let me just say, I appreciate you waiting and not interrupting people. I appreciate it.
I've got a hold on my Pocus. Let me use time split. We're gonna go backwards. 40 seconds. I never said anything. Go ahead, Gaijin.
Battle Tower is kind of planned. I don't know what
That's
kind
really-
of planned means, but they are working on something. I'm assuming. So there's a lot of features here that they either say are too expensive or kind of planned, but keep in mind that these were drafted up, I think, before they even actually had all the influx. So April 5th. Okay, so since April, I think there's been a pretty large amount of people purchasing the game, and I'd say that they probably have more funds now than they did then. So maybe some of these things aren't as like too
out of
expensive as
reach.
they think.
We can hope.
Yeah.
We can all hope and dream. Shindy, what's this last idea you got for us here? This is the one that Kennedy said he was going to rip apart and lay into.
Yeah.
He said you were so freaking stupid for even mentioning this. He was like, "What an idiot!" And I was like, "Holy cow, we're not even live yet, Kennedy. Take it easy on the poor guy."
I mean, that sounds exactly like me. I call people dum-dums all the time.
Yep.
Yeah. So this last idea, I guess, is another wild suggestion, but this is more so for the aspect of kind of like casual people who aren't interested in PvP. I was thinking of like an idea for like a kind of like a fashion show or like a beauty show for tamers and Tems in a way, where people could, instead of just having it being just the core of just simply battling and hunting, they could essentially run like a Vogue Temtem basically in the game. Yeah, basically. But I mean, I feel like that would be kind of cool because then it does allow for an option other than just battling and hunting, and just opens up a different option for it to just simply create another sense of fun.
All right.
For
Kennedy,
players.
go ahead and tell them why it's not a fun idea and it's horrible. Counterpoint.
Yeah.
I don't actually believe that it's not a fun idea and it's horrible. I actually really, really, really love this idea, and I think it'd be really cool to implement. One of the things of like when we came up with the game suggestion and idea factory was we were trying to find actionable things where we could come up with something cool enough that we could say like, hey, we're going to go make a post on the Temtem official forums. Everybody who's listening, please go contribute your weight behind this because we think it's something really cool for the game, and that's not going to take away from the development cycle that that Krima has shown that they have the ability to do something like this in game, and all it would be like moving a couple numbers. For this, like the reason why I can't say like let's do that and let's throw some weight behind this is because there's a lot of really cool things on the roadmap that while I would love beauty shows, I want player housing first.
Right.
I mean, who's to say we can't have community-run beauty pageants? I mean, it doesn't have to
in
be
the player
something big
housing.
about. It's something. No, hold on, relax on player housing. This doesn't have anything to do with it. If we're talking about player-run community events, player housing has nothing to do with it. It can be anywhere. You can just like take a screenshot, quick video, something of your character or whatever. Like, I think it could be like a community-run
that'd be
event.
really cool. I wish the sharding worked a little different because it'd be cool to actually get in a group and be like, okay, everyone line their characters up here and here. Okay, one at a time, you can walk your character down and show off your outfits. I mean, the problem is it'd be a nightmare getting everyone on the same instance, but that would be really cool to see the community arrange that.
It doesn't have to be in the same instance. That's what the screenshots are for.
No, I know. That would be cool too. I'm just saying it'd be even cooler if they could get together and do it. But yeah, you're right. 100% the communities could do something like that. But yeah, Shinte, I like your idea. I think it'd be cool to see. I get where Kennedy's coming from, that it's about what do they have the resources for and priority for. But hey, this is the game suggestion idea factory. We're just spitballing here. We're just spitballing. So I appreciate you bringing the ideas forward and sharing them with us.
Absolutely.
I do too.
Let's go to our last segment of the night, and I gotta play Mr. Grumpy Timekeeper here. We are overtime. So Kennedy, it's publicly known now that I don't like PvP, so that's why I'm only gonna give you a couple minutes for this. No, I'm just kidding. But please, briefly summarize for us the Plus Weekly 23 as we talk about community events, tournaments from the last week. I'll bring it up here on stream as well for you. And I will not go to the bathroom, Gaijin. Gaijin gave me a hard time before because he's like, you always go to the bathroom during the tournaments because you're like, I don't want to listen to other people talk. It's true. And by the way, I do have to go to the bathroom right now, and just to spite you, I'm holding it in pain.
Perfect.
Gaijin, or not Gaijin, Vonlin, I actually linked the Swiss round, so if you want to go up to the brackets and go to the final brackets, you can. But yeah, the Plus Weekly 23 happened this past week. Plus is incredibly consistent with putting on great tournaments. The winner of the tournament was Little Asia. I think his username in the community is Ricky Tan.
Is this Ricky Tan? Ricky Tan won?
Yeah, Little Asia.
Ricky
He's like
Tan.
an 1800 or 1900 TMR player.
He comes
good.
into my stream whenever I am PvP, and he tells me, he's like, you just gotta believe.
Oh,
you just gotta believe.
Rigid Tan.
Oh,
Rigid Tan. Okay.
Well, shout out to Ricky Tan. Sorry you didn't win this tournament.
So anyways, yeah, Little Asia won, had a really, really awesome sweep. This tournament was a lot of fun to watch because I was doing the Temtem data project for it. So I actually took a picture on my phone. I'm not going to share it because I don't want to dig it out. But I was at my mom's house still, and I had my laptop up. I had my tablet up. I had Plus's stream on my tablet. I had Silent Kami's stream, who was streaming his playthrough on the tournament, on one screen. And then I had my in-game Temtem open, and I was spectating 3 different people and watching for the results of games so I could like record them all in the data project. And I got a lot of really good information from this. The really cool thing, though, that happened actually was Little Asia went against CMAS in the last round of Swiss, as both players made it to round 6 of Swiss, being 5-0. And they were both undefeated. And the way Swiss works is it keeps matching you against people with your same record to find out who gets seeded where. And Little Asia actually ended up winning that match against CMAS. But before that match happened, I had a bunch of games recorded, and my data was showing that Mix, Size Munch, and Lowally had the 3 best win rates in Temtem right now and the best performance. And I made the prediction, Lowally was at the top at the time. I was like, each player is going to have a Lowally on their team. And so both of these players who were 5-0 at this time ended up like playing against each other, and Plus spectates the game, and they both have Lowally on their team. And then I think they either both had Mix or they both had Size Munch on their team. And then like getting into the finals, like a lot of people had like very similar things of just like the Tems that were showing the best like performance were the things that were kind of getting further and further in of like the more that people had of these. So it's really interesting to know like that some of this information that I'm collecting is going to be useful.
Guys, cut him off. He's putting us to sleep with the data. He's bringing it all back.
Okay. And that's it. Little Asia.
I just want to say that you guys got trolled. It's not rigged tan or rigid tan. They were saying rigged, like rigged, because Ricky Tan won. It is Ricky Tan 54, not rigged tan.
Oh, Ricky Tan did. It is Ricky Tan is Little Asian.
Is Ricky Tan.
If you look at the brackets, like the winners brackets, it really does look like Ricky Tan rigged this tournament, because 2-0 against Prodi, amazing player. 2-0 against Axe, amazing player. 2-0 against Sabaki, amazing player. Like, they were playing out of their mind for this weekly. And all of these players were actually competing. Like, they weren't troll teams.
You said you guys got trolled. Kennedy got trolled. I was just asking him the question. I want to distance
myself.
No,
you said rigid tan. You read it.
No, I really didn't. I really didn't.
I didn't know who the person was. Yeah. I just see Little Asia on people's streams a lot.
Well, congrats to Ricky Tan for winning that. Well deserved. You believe, just like you always tell me, just believe. I guess he followed your advice, and it really does work. So I'm gonna enter the next plus OP, and I'm just gonna believe that I can win it. And I think
okay. I don't care about competitive anymore. I'm gonna enter the next plus OP.
Let's do it. Let's enter the tournament and let's 5-head together inside voice comms. Like,
whoa, cheating.
No, I don't think he has rules against voice comms for his tournaments. I don't think he does. I've never read his rule book in depth.
No, I don't think so. Because it was somebody who won who had they were supposed to be in voice chat after, but it was their manager. Their manager talking instead. I don't know.
Suspect. But listen, here, let's move this to winding down here. We got our plugs and our turn 30 left. At the top of the plugs, I want to do something special. I usually don't do this. I'm not personally big into the giveaway culture and doing that online. It's guys, I know you are. It's great. I just don't personally do a lot of it.
First of all, the thing you're talking about is from me.
I know it is.
So it belongs. You can totally advertise it.
So Talakai, listener of the show, as Gaijin's well aware of who he is, he won a Luma Calibus from Gaijin's own giveaway. But then he approached me and said, he knew that Calibus is my favorite Temtem. He likes TemTalk, wants to support TemTalk. So he said, if I give you the Luma Calibus, will you give it away to a listener of TemTalk? And I said, for sure, we'll do it. Like I said, normally I don't, but I'm all about it. He heard about how I was complaining about Team Talk and YouTube, and we don't have as many visibility to them. So he's like, give it away to someone on YouTube. That helps with the YouTube promotion. So I was like, all right, we'll do it. So I'm going to post this episode up on YouTube late tonight or early tomorrow morning. And we're going to pick a random YouTube comment off the video And on next week's episode, we'll pick one of them randomly and give away the Luma Calibus to whoever did it. So you'll have to respond to the comment when you win it and give us your in-game name. But
It is not. It is not a Gaijinbu OT, so keep that in mind. I know it was from a giveaway I did, but it's not a my OT. I've never got a Luma Calibus or.
Oh, did someone donate it to you to give it away? So is this like a third gifted re-gift giveaway type of thing situation?
People give stuff to me all the time to give away.
Who gets the original credit for giving away? Do you remember who it was? I don't want to put you on the spot.
It's either Sebel or AKA Shadows or AKA Snuggy.
So anyways, the short version of this is comment on this episode on YouTube. You might win a Luma Calibus. With that said, we'll go into the real plugs in full swing. Shinte, guess first. Let people know where can they find more of you on the interwebs.
Yeah, so you can reach me at my Twitch handle, which is twitch.tv/Shintegami97, which is spelled SHINTEGAMI 97. I mainly stream Temtem, but as I've mentioned earlier, I've been streaming more so with Destiny 2 and other games, Fall Guys as well. I've been playing a lot of Fall Guys recently. Yeah, you can catch me there. I pretty much stream. I've been trying to stream mostly on weekdays, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time till roughly about 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but the endings have been kind of like all over the place, so you can catch me mostly in those mornings there.
And we'll put a link. I'll put a link to your channel in the YouTube description and podcast description as well.
Awesome.
Special perks of being the host or the guest, excuse me. So, Gaijin, what about yourself? Just going around the pictures here.
Well, I mean, usually the name is much bigger underneath the video.
Oh my
but
god! I'm
somebody broke the
I'm gonna make it big right now just to please you.
Again.
Actually, I shouldn't give into this. I'm gonna make it smaller.
That's okay. It's okay.
We stand up to bullies around here.
But yeah, I mean, I think most people can guess it's Gaijinbu. Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Discord as well. I'm in quite a few communities. I've downsized a little bit just because Discord notifications, any notifications, really kind of. I keep my phone on silent. But either way, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram.
Wait.
It's Gaijinbu, GAIJINBUU. You can see it across the screen. It's nice, big, bold, like it should be.
I'm checking. Wow, Gaijin not a member of my Discord. Let me go ahead and leave his Discord server now. No, I'm just kidding.
Are you even in my Discord? You've never posted a thing.
I'm in it.
You've never participated. I've been
in my
hanging
Discord.
I've been hanging out in my voice chat alone most nights because people don't want to come and talk to me. They just want to come and be in my stream and just leave it there.
I can relate to you with all the Discord notifications. I'm in your Discord, but I have them all muted, and I only look at everyone.
You don't care about what I say.
It's not just you. It's all the Discords I'm in. But if you do an add everyone, I see it. So know that you can always get my attention that way.
No, every time I do an add everyone, someone leaves.
I know.
People hate that.
Gaijin, create a new role, Vonlin, or just at Vonlin in your server more. I'll see it. Anyways, we're getting sidetracked. Kennedy, what about yourself?
You can find me at Presby Kennedy on Twitter or YouTube. I might start streaming Temtem. I'm always lurking and have a Temtem stream pulled up in the background. And whenever I see like there's not a prominent streamer, I might hop on and just play some games. So yeah, you can find me on Twitch too at that. I live stream D&D on YouTube and Temtem sometimes on Twitch. Wow, that's a mouthful. Temtem sometimes on Twitch.
And the show, youtube.com/C/TemTalk. Hit the sub button, comment on the video. Down with hashtag bring down Team Talk. And you can also find me personally streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv. Oh my god, I forgot. What is it? Twitch.tv/Vonlin. That's what it is.
It's been so long since you've actually streamed. You forgot.
I've been streaming more consistently now. So I stream. I changed my schedule. We do TemTalk on Mondays. I stream Temtem on Wednesdays, and then Friday nights I think I'm gonna start streaming RimWorld. I did it for the first time and it worked out really well. So if you're interested in RimWorld, it's a nice, fun, easy game to chill, talk to stream about. I can name all of the pawns and the colonists after people from chat, and we can live out the story of what happens to our colony together. So it's a lot of fun. And then random streams on the weekend as well. But with that, with no further ado, let's move on to turn 30. I like having this hype music for turn 30. I think I like that. So, Kennedy, we're throwing it to you. I realize in retrospect, 100%, I should have let Shinte pick something for turn 30, being our guest, but I didn't think about that till just this moment. But Shinte, you said that you like D&D, and Kenny wants to talk about D&D, so you can be a part of this conversation. So
absolutely.
For those that don't know, turn 30, we take a few minutes at the very end of the show to just talk about something outside of the world of Temtem that we're passionate about and we want to just bring to the community for a little bit. So Kennedy picked D&D. Go ahead, sir.
I absolutely love D&D. Anybody who knows me, I play D&D like crazy. And I'm going to just give everybody a forewarning real quick. This turn 30 might get spicy. So if you don't like spice, you might just want to end here. So there was a book that was announced by Wizards of the Coast, new source material.
I'll pull this up for you.
Called Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. And before we talk about it, I just want to give a little preface.
Is this a sponsorship? Is Wizards of the Coast paying you to plug this? Because if so, you need to give me 75% of that money as the host of TemTalk, just so you know.
Yeah. So it was kind of brought to light that a lot of older tropes and stuff in fantasy, and a lot of the way fantasy addresses some of the things, and the category is inherently baked in racism. Like, can't get away from it. And Wizards recognized this in their own works, and they said they haven't represented people and cultures of people well in their works, and they're going to be trying to do better in the future. And like always, there was a huge backlash of people just like, what? Really? There's racism in my game? Racism doesn't exist, man. No. You're stupid, Wizards. And I've always thought that D&D does a lot to purport race science, which is proven false. And race science just doesn't stand on any merit. Like, black people have no visible or racial traits better than white people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And race science is silly. But for D&D, you get racial traits for just being races. And I've always thought that was really stupid, that there's a feat called Elven weapon training, and there's Dwarven weapon training, where it's just like, oh, here's a longbow, you're proficient in using longbows because Elven weapon training is a racial feat. And it's like, oh, but my character is actually an elf who, lost their homeland and was raised by human merchants, and they've actually never held a weapon in their life. And it's like, it's in your blood. Here's your longbow. You know how to use it.
Sure.
And it's like, that's ridiculously stupid. So one of the cool things that I always say in my games is I say most of the racial traits are cultural traits, and you can swap them for traits that are more relevant to your character. A really cool thing that Wizards announced that's in this book is there's more character options, delve into a collection of new class features and new feats, and customize your character's origin using straightforward rules for modifying a character's racial traits. Like, we can finally get away from this archaic system of just like, oh, you're a dwarf? Here's your warhammer. It's like, but I don't want to use a warhammer. I like writing, but here's your warhammer. It's in your blood. So I think that this is going to be really, really cool in expanding and adding more character options.
I really this next bullet point sounds cool too. Introducing group patrons. Whether you're part of the same criminal syndicate or working for an ancient dragon, each group patron option comes with its own perks and types of assignments. And they have expanded subclasses as well. This looks really cool.
Yeah, so I just wanted to share that. Like, I have so many custom rules for the games I run of like different ways to build characters that are unique to the story you want to tell with your character, and I just love that like Wizards of the Coast is embracing these ways to like make the story yours. Temtem Tivo says, "But you're a dwarf, Warhammer."
Shinte, we were talking a little bit before the show. Do you're a D&D player? You were familiar. It sounded like I didn't.
Yeah.
Kennedy, I was just kind of listening on this side. So.
Yeah, I played D&D. I was actually introduced to D&D when I was in high school, so I had like a huge love for it because I love, like fantasy storytelling and like just like imagination, kind of like going wild and just working with that and having different choices. It created a lot of dynamic, I guess, for me growing up with that, and I had a lot of fun with it. Meaning, having great friends to meet with and play with, as well as just knowing what to really think about, and also to like how to really create story building aspects. Like it really created for me like a sense of how to develop characters.
Oh, that's cool.
And that idea. So I enjoyed it a lot. I really advocate for D&D.
Yeah,
Probably not as much as Kennedy, but
I've always wanted to get into D&D, but I have a really hard time with imagination. Like I've always loved the aspect, the concept, and just the like getting together. And I have played it a couple of times, but it's super difficult for me because I have apparently it's called aphantasia. Like if I close my eyes, I can't imagine anything. Like if you say to imagine like a red ball, like I don't see it. I don't see anything. Like most people can imagine stuff and see things in their mind visually, but that doesn't happen for me.
Oh, wow.
So I have a really hard time playing stuff like that because it's all based in imagination, and being able to see this stuff and visualize what's happening. I can't see that.
Let me give you I can show off my D&D to help with the visualization. So I'm into D&D, but I'm also into miniatures, as people can see. So me and my friends play D&D. There's a website where you can customize your own miniature and design it with whatever armor, race.
Hero Forge?
Yeah, Hero Forge, exactly. And then I painted them myself. So this is my Tempest Cleric, one of my favorite characters that I've ever had. And it says I hand painted this myself. I have a tiefling fire sorcerer named what was his name? I can't remember what his name was, but he was a lot of fun as well, and my druid, my elven druid as well. So all custom designed miniatures from Hero Forged.
Nice.
Painted. So
are they paying you?
Very cool.
Give me 30% of like whatever they're paying.
No, but 75, because if he's taking 75 and you're taking 30, you're still losing money on this.
Well, I mean, there are other hosts that need money too.
Wizards of the Coast, Hero Forge. If you'd like to sponsor, TemTalkshow at gmail.com. Just let us know. But no, very cool.
Too far away from it, though, Gaijin, on that condition, that's really interesting. Willow, her brother actually has something very similar where I don't know if it's the same exact thing, but he can't visualize things when he closes his eyes either.
Yeah, I think it's just in general, like overall called aphantasia. Like there's probably different levels of it, but same idea, I think.
And he actually dungeon masters for her occasionally. And she seems to really enjoy his campaigns. If you were interested, I could get you two in contact. He's big on Discord, and I don't know, maybe like tips and tricks on how to work through it.
Yeah, 'cause I'm sure there's ways to help visualize stuff, but yeah, like it's something I just recently like found out like about. Like I never really knew about aphantasia. I just thought it was normal for everybody. Like you just don't see things in your brain.
That's fascinating.
Do you have dreams? Like, do you experience dreams of like seeing things and moving through places?
I don't. So I have had dreams before, but I never remember anything. Like
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know. Like I'm not sure if dreams are just all imagination or what, but like I never remember them if I have them. Like I've had a very few dreams, so it does happen occasionally, but I don't know how dreams work, if it's like imagination or what. But I think maybe my brain's more powerful when I'm subconscious, probably. But when I physically try to make myself imagine stuff, I can't see it.
Okay,
Interesting.
that's interesting.
Yeah, Iolande in chat says they have the same thing, which is funny as an artist because Iolande obviously does a lot of artwork.
That's got to be very, very interesting as an artist, trying to imagine stuff to draw. It's like your fingers are your brain.
Art credit shout out to Iolande. If you go to Twitch, my logo, that's a picture of me riding a Luma Calibus, my character from Temtem. Iolande made that for me, so thank you, Iolande. Check that out. All right, that's going to do it for us. We're way over. This is probably the longest episode we've ever done. I'll never successfully get us to an hour and a half again. I need to give up on the dream, but I won't.
Never gonna happen.
I refuse. But that's going to do it for us. It's going to do it for Shinte, for Gaijin, for Kennedy, for Vonlin. Thank you, everyone. Have a good week. See you next Monday. Good luck on those Lumas. Catch that Zephyra. But I gotta go use the bathroom now because I was politely holding it through all this. So yeah, we'll transition to the post show. I'll be right back, everyone.
Do you think anybody else running podcasts gets up in the middle of their show to go to the restroom while
100% all the time. That's the power of editing.
We used to record these segment by segment, and then we'd have potty in the middle of them.
That's interesting. Pulling back the curtain, when these used to be audio only, yeah, we didn't record these as one running segment. We broke it up into 2 or 3 sessions and took breaks for like food and snacks, and I've never been able to convert to this live format. It's too grueling for me. I can't handle it.